Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. We are here with you, really happy. I'm going to introduce you Federico, who will be the weaver together with me. So let's let Federico introduce himself and start with this. Federico.
Sí, hola a todos y a todas. Yo soy Federico del Sindicato Obreros del Campo de Andalucía y de la Coordinación Internacional de la Vía Campesina.
Okay, so we want to welcome everyone, family, friends, lovers of life. Thank you for joining us today. If you haven't done this, please, you can select the language that you prefer in the bottom that you have in your screens. So we have several languages. And please take a moment also to share this with your people, sending them the link or like tagging them on Facebook, okay? So please, once done this, let us know where are you connecting from, okay? Because we are expecting people from every single place in the world. So please let us know in the chat where you're connecting from. And we are really honored, both Federico and me, of being like the weavers of this festival of solidarity, resistance, and hope. And before we share more information about what to look forward to, we are pausing to start coming all together in solidarity, in love, and in joy.
Sí, yo quería, Berta, dar también la bienvenida desde, como digo, desde Andalucía, que es un país que está cultural, históricamente enlazado entre Europa, África y América, y dar la bienvenida, como te decía antes, como campesino, como sindicalista, como inmigrante, como padre de familia, como padre de 3 hijos, y como tú decías, amante de la justicia y la libertad. Y vamos a comenzar este festival en donde vamos a recordar, nos vamos a unir, vamos a cultivar, vamos a soñar para construir un mundo mejor basado en el amor, la solidaridad y la alegría y la justicia, ¿no? Así que queremos que todos y todas pues pongan lo mejor de vosotros y vosotras para compartir y vivir juntos este momento creativo e importante, ¿eh? Muchas gracias y bienvenidos y bienvenidas. Ahora viene la música, ¿no? Esto es un poco espontáneo, como la vida misma, ¿no? Vamos.
Eso es, poquito a poco ya nos vamos a ir encajando. Little by little, we are like putting all the pieces all together. And this is just the beginning of this wonderful afternoon or morning.
Ahora viene un vídeo. Muy bonito, es interesante. Disfrutarlo.
Cuando canta el gallo negro, es que ya se acaba el día. Si cantara el gallo rojo, otro gallo cantaría. Si cantara el gallo rojo, otro gallo cantaría. Ay, ay, si es que yo miento, que el cantar que yo canto lo borra el viento. Ay, ay, qué desencanto, si me borrara el viento lo que yo canto. Se encontraron en la arena los 2 gallos frente a frente. Se encontraron en la arena los 2 gallos frente a frente. El gallo negro era grande, pero el rojo era valiente. El gallo negro era grande, pero el rojo era valiente. Ay, 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 si es que yo miento, que el cantar que yo canto lo borra el viento. Ay, 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 qué desencanto, si me borrara el viento lo que yo canto. Se miraron cara a cara y atacó el negro el primero. Se miraron cara a cara y atacó el negro el primero. El gallo rojo es valiente, pero el negro es traicionero. El gallo rojo es valiente, pero el negro es traicionero. Ay, ay. no se rinde el gallo rojo más que cuando está ya muerto. Ay, 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 si es que yo miento, que el cantar que yo canto lo borre el viento. Ay, 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 qué desencanto. Si me borrara el viento lo que yo canto.
Dando secuencia, el bellísimo poema de nuestro querido compañero Gustavo Ducci, un grande luchador por la soberanía alimentaria, un grande militante internacionalista. ¿A qué esperamos? ¿Por qué no decimos poner el amor en el centro? ¿Por qué, frente a la competitividad, defendemos la cooperación si la palabra correcta sería defender el amor? ¿Por qué hablamos de una crisis multisistémica cuando es más cierto afirmar que es una crisis del amor? ¿Por qué apelamos al anticapitalismo en lugar de defender, sin más y sin vergüenza, el amor? La revolución de los cuidados o la revolución del amor. Ecologismo, feminismo, decrecimiento, bienes comunes, ¿no son sinónimos de amor? ¿A qué esperamos? Hemos pensado en el bienestar espiritual que generaría derribar parques solares, en la paz, incluso eufórica, que sentiríamos descementando las pistas de aeropuertos, en el amor que explotaría en cada ocupación de una mina a cielo abierto, en la plenitud que sentiríamos al cubrir todo ese capitalismo de tierra fértil, en las intensas emociones que surgirían llevando a cabo todos estos sabotajes de una forma colectiva. Si lo presentimos, si lo sabemos, ¿a qué esperamos? Muchas gracias, querido Gustavo.
Arriba los pobres del mundo, de pie los esclavos sin pan. agrupémonos todos en la lucha final y se hacen los pueblos con valor por la internacional. El día que el triunfo alcancemos, ni esclavos ni hambrientos habrá. La tierra será el paraíso de toda la humanidad. Que la tierra dé todos sus frutos y la dicha es nuestro hogar. El trabajo, el sostén que a todos de la abundancia hará gozar. Agrupémonos todos en la lucha final y se alcen los pueblos por la internacional. Agrupémonos todos en la lucha final y se hacen los pueblos con valor por la internacional y se hacen los pueblos con valor por la internacional.
Gracias a todos y a todas por este precioso vídeo, estas preciosas canciones. Y bueno, alzamos nuestra voz y alzamos nuestro puño como luchadores por la vida y por el amor. Y en este momento es importante tener en cuenta que en este contexto que nos toca vivir de tanta incertidumbre, tanta confrontación, tanta violencia, en donde nos vamos naturalizando al odio y a la violencia contra el diferente, contra el marginado, en donde ya nos acostumbramos a que en las fronteras mueran miles de personas todos los días solo por querer buscarse una vida mejor y ejercer su derecho a circular y librar, y también donde estamos viendo ya es normal que el fascismo vuelva a conseguir espacios de poder en las instituciones, donde las grandes empresas transnacionales hagan lo que quieran sin ninguna ley ni justicia. Entonces, en este mundo, en este contexto, lo que no podemos es caer nosotras y dejarnos atrapar por el odio y por esta violencia sin sentido. Entonces, como decía mi paisano y revolucionario Che Guevara, el revolucionario verdadero está guiado por grandes sentimientos de amor. Y eso es lo que queremos expresar en este festival, esta actitud de resistencia, pero a su vez de construcción de una alternativa. Y le doy la palabra a mi compañera Berta para que empecemos con el primer bloque tan importante como es el de recordar.
Thank you, Federico. That's it. So in this festival, we want to celebrate love as an act of resistance and an act of creation. And we want to breathe love through our culture, our heritage, our indigenous languages, and all we do. And loving who we are and celebrating the things we are doing is our way to resist, is our resistance. And just as Federico said, we want to start by remembering, and in order to do that, we are going to light a candle. So we are asking those of you who have a candle in your hands at home or even with your cells, I don't know, any symbolic object that you may use. So we are going to ask you to light them, because we want to honor and remember all our comrades who have been retaliated or disappeared or murdered. So just take a moment to honor them and remember them.
Euskiak urtzen du goian, gailurretako elurra, uarkada jauzten ibarrera, geldi gaitza den oldarra. Gure baitan datza eguzkia, iluna eta izotza, urratu dezaken argia, urtuko duen bihotza. Bihotza bezain bero zabalik, besoak eta eskuak, gorririk ikus dezagun egia, argiz beterik burua.
Thank you all. Maskagro, peace and blessings to our family, to our friends, to our warriors of justice, our warriors of truth, our warriors of love who are joining us from around the world. My name is Dima Mahmoud. I am blessed to be a family member of a growing culture, and we start this segment. We were hoping our brother Samuel would be joining us live, but as Federico said earlier, life is as unpredictable, and our form of resistance is to be flexible. Our form of resistance is to work with what we have. Brother Samuel sent us a voice note and some photos. He is on pilgrimage. He is from the Maasai people who are currently being threatened, and more than 80,000 are being threatened to be evicted of their land yet again. I ask you, as you receive his message that we will be playing now and queuing, to send light and love to his community who are on a 200 kilometers pilgrimage, tracing and remembering and retracing the steps of their ancestors as they call and claim that land and invoke that right. I thank you for listening. I thank you for being open to this message and to sending this love to Samuel and his family and community as they take this journey and take us on this journey with them.
Naa entoki nabo nitu aikata adol tenakop enaa apa paabulu. Eewuo alaari ng'ole neyau entoki naji ormotonyi niigany enkop. Nera kulo motonyi boi aja. Etang'asa aituruk entoki naji intermagos. Nitoki asuj inkuti motonyi narook naikunari iji enepu. Paa kitoki aponu kulo akusarri oibor. Ninche ake atabaikitia atua kulie neeku enkeeya. Neerakino osinkirri enkop niigany.
Atadua entoki nabo meekure eha intung'usu pii, nemekure eha orgisari pii, nemekure eha ele arari pii. Etaa likae apa kenya olapa apai likijo loonkakua etaa oshi ninche taata kipuo aatumie iyiok enchan.
Ore taata irmusungu eneponu nepuo aing'uraa ena flamingo nikiya masaa ang' kuna masaa oshi nikitipaa nkaik nikipuo toi ake adake aamiraki lelo musungu neeku dupoto. Kake ore ng'ole peeponu kuna flamingo aamuta nikiirut aajo meeta taake neeku mekure eponu irmusungu.
Thank you, Josh. As we cue the next sound recording from Samuel, where he is explaining and sharing with us, and hopefully for you to share with the rest of the world about this journey, he sent me the blessing that they give and place before they start this pilgrimage. And if you allow me, I will read it now as Josh pulls up the next cue. This is a loose translation I must invoke. This is a loose translation from the Ma language, which is the indigenous language of the Maasai people, or this group specifically. I am still learning. And it goes, we acknowledge our ancestors who made paths for us to follow to life, and the unborn future generations who compel us so deeply and to whom we are all ultimately accountable. Similarly, we acknowledge the elders, those who have gone before us and continue to walk among us today, who gave us so much of their lives to prepare the ground for our initiative, and their families who support them and held them up when the weight of the burden must have seemed unbearable. I leave you now with the voice of Samuel and some photos from their journey thus far.
And I come from Maasai community in northern Tanzania. I would like to say resistance has been part of our life all through. Our ancestors, our parents, our brothers, our sisters have been fighting to keep our culture, to keep our environment, to keep our land, and to keep our language from different threats that have been pushing us out of the four things that I've just mentioned. When we resist, the governments and other development partners normally view us that we are not people who want change. We are not people who want to go with time. We are not people who admire the new technology, the new ways of life, the new food, the other people's languages, and also who normally try to attach themselves so deeply in the lands that they live. Recently, We have actually been doing a lot of initiatives to demonstrate our resistance to change, but also our resistance to ensure that we keep our lands, our territory, that we have cultural and traditional connections to it. As Maasai community of East Africa, both Kenya and Tanzania, we've been undergoing a lot of shakings around land rights, and for the last 60 years now, we have lost almost 70% of the lands we used to have. This is from various reasons: investment, conservation, and also even the small towns that are coming up in our communities. People are coming from away and they come and establish small towns in our villages, and later on it becomes one of the land grabbing way. So among the ways that we've been showing our resistance, it's been one, to keep our culture, to practice, to make it life, to ensure that we follow our ancestors' ways of life, we follow their rules, we follow their laws, and to ensure that we have remained with our language, with our dressing, with our livelihood, which is pastoralism, but also to ensuring that we keep ourselves identical from other communities in almost everything. So this way, for us, we don't say development is bad, but any development process that try to temper, try to disturb, try to shake these fundamental ways of living to us is actually not only a threat to our land, but also a threat to our identity. We have fought big companies, big corporations, and recently we've decided to conduct a pilgrimage or alamal, a walking group of elders that walked for 200 kilometers, trying to show that solidarity and to mobilize the community to be able to understand the importance of keeping ourselves, of protecting our lands, of protecting our languages, protecting our dressing system, protecting our being, and protecting our identity. And this is a new way that we mobilize internal spirit of togetherness, internal spirit of unity, internal spirit of defending our culture, defending our ways of life, defending our food system, and also telling people about why is it that our parents, our ancestors have fought so hard to ensure that they keep our land. So this pilgrimage has just been coming to a conclusion, and we will share the video with so many other indigenous communities to understand the way we've been able to mobilize our internal strength, our internal unity, and the way and what has actually come out of it. Thank you so much, and we are always together in this struggle.
Well, I think this was a pity not to have the comrades here live, but it was a really interesting testimony, and I'm sure we feel now like even closer to the comrades, to the Maasai comrades in this pilgrimage, just like Dima told us. And I would like to welcome Dima once again, to welcome back her. She is part of the A Growing Culture family, and they are part of the organization of this festival. So I don't know if she's ready to be back with us, because I think she wants to share something with all of you. Dima, are you still there with us?
Yes, I am here. I am here. Again, we continue to be flexible, and miscommunications are inevitable. I just want to confirm that our fantastic interpreters can hear everything clearly. I could receive some messages that they were not. Okay, seems like we are ready to go. Thank you, Berta, Federico. These miscommunications, as we say, they happen for a reason. And it's not just that the tech gremlins or that the technology is not always cooperating with us. So I would like to share some thoughts with you that I have, that have come to me about the importance of remembering and what exactly to remember. I start in invoking my ancestors' tongue, Maskagro. This is Nubian. I am Nubian from the Mahasi tribe, from a village called Kabaja, which is not on the map, on Google's map yet. My land is what is today called Sudan. For so long, people of indigenous ancestry, particularly those of us on the continent deemed to be forgotten, have been told and conditioned into believing that we are lacking, powerless, helpless, and voiceless without a white stage or person. For so long, our people have seen our children grow, seeing our entire being, our history, our present, and our future through the eyes of the colonizer. We may not all be ready to admit it, but the majority of our people have accepted victimhood as our space of comfort. In that space, we have embraced silence, not the meditative type. We internalized the attacks on our spirituality and shunned it along with all the keys to the doors and paths connecting us all as one. We have mastered the role of observers to the continued, active, and deliberate erasure of our indigenous heritage, traditions, and languages. Yes, we have perfected complacency. We are complicit. We convinced, and some of us indeed continue to convince ourselves, that to be understood in this world, we must speak the dominant language. But it is not our own, so we cannot speak it in confidence. We stutter. We stutter in calling the continued oppression of our people for what it truly is, genocide. Because that word is not our creation, it is their creation. That word is not our vocabulary, it is their vocabulary. It is not a word we recognize because it is unfathomable to our spirit that a soul would take or claim another in the name of power, or anything else for that matter. It is a vicious cycle, one that can only be broken by stepping into our truth and recognizing that the one language that unites us is energy. And that is a language the system cannot and will not understand. It has no interest to. It has no need to. Why? Because it is a language that holds a mirror to whatever is left from their corroding conscience. It is a language that is spoken by every indigenous tongue, regardless of what it vibrates and the sound it vibrates into the air. That energy, that language of energy and conscience is one that is echoed by Mother Earth, Mother Nature, and Mother Africa. In speaking it, we need not be loud. Indeed, we need not speak at all, because it is a language of action. We need not worry about it reaching an audience, because the winds will carry what we say, do, and feel loud and far. The trees will communicate and root them in the soil. The distressed earth will cry them into the rivers. All the bloodlines of Mother Earth will start boiling. Her heart will beat faster, and she will shake the grounds from under the feet, thrones, and mountains alike. Eruptions are no longer limited to volcanic, because even the volcanoes will echo our call to action to let what's burning inside us out into the world. And from those ashes, we breathe life into our ancestral legacies and rise in a way that would make even the most majestic phoenix question itself. In reclaiming our languages, endangered or otherwise, we don't just reclaim our identity and our heritage, and we need to understand that. We need to remember that. In invoking the tongues of our ancestors, we come in alignment with divine will, because we are in sync with our mothers, our divine mothers. And mothers will move mountains and break ceilings and carve walls and go to battle for the cry of their children. That is the real connection we lose in losing our indigenous ways and languages. We sever that umbilical cord that sustains and nourishes us. We must recognize that it is not coincidental. This is by design. And it is a design that will ultimately fail and crumble, because it is its creators and not us who are lacking, powerless, and helpless. So lacking, in fact, they have crossed oceans and invaded lands, violated our mothers and kidnapped our ancestors to build what they could not, to do what they would not, and fill the massive vacuum their disconnection from spirit has left them with. Ask more questions, please. Thank you. I was transported into some land right now saying this. I yield to Berta and Federico to make this next announcement. Thank you so much for listening.
Gracias, Dima. Ha sido muy emocionante, muy fuerte. Gracias por ese testimonio tan importante. Vamos a seguir en esta parte de recordar. Creo que ahora vamos a pasar un vídeo, me parece. ¿Puede ser? Pasamos el vídeo y luego seguimos con otros testimonios en donde sigamos trabajando lo que es el recuerdo y la memoria y las raíces, como dice Dima.
Mujeres recolectoras y pescadoras, rizomas de vida. ¿Quién soy yo? Soy Gina Patricia Napal Síbar. Soy una mujer del mar, soy una mujer del manglar. Soy ecuatoriana, de la provincia de Manabí, del estuario del río Chón. una mujer pescadora que ama a su familia y a la naturaleza, una mujer que ha sufrido, pero que vive la vida con alegría. Soy sentimental, aguerrida, con un corazón fuerte. Me encanta la música y me encanta trabajar. Enmiendo mis errores. Soy respetuosa y solidaria. Soy madre, hija, hermana, amiga. Me reconozco como una mujer valiosa. Me reconozco como una mujer rizoma de vida. Me preguntaron quién soy yo. Respondo. Soy la hija de dos grandes seres humanos. De mi padre heredé el oficio de la pesca y de mi madre la sabiduría de la vida. Soy la que nació en una familia sencilla que me dio una infancia feliz. Soy la que desde niña convive con la naturaleza, con gusanos, con pájaros, con culebras, con peces. Soy la que vive a la orilla del agua, la que se pasaba encima de los árboles. Soy la que fue separada de su familia muy niña para ir a la escuela, la que sufrió mucho y soñaba con regresar a su rancho. Soy la que se casó pronto, se dedicó a la pesca y a criar a sus 2 hijos. Soy la que con sus propias manos construyó su equipo de pesca y con esas mismas manos su propia casa. Soy la que junto a otras compañeras fundó la primera cooperativa de mujeres pescadoras, la que se atrevió a entrar en un espacio que solo era para los hombres. Soy la que llaman loca, porque piensa distinto, porque lucho por sus derechos, porque se ama a sí mismo, porque es independiente. Soy la que pesca libremente, la que comparte su experiencia con otras mujeres, la que trabaja por mejores días para su sector pesquero artesanal. Soy la que nació en un pequeño puerto del Golfo de México. Soy Herminia Chávez de Alvarado, Veracruz. Soy yo, Hilda Fanny León Aguayo. Soy yo, pescadora, ponchera, agricultora, vendedora, ama de casa, manglera. Soy yo, de abuelos, madre, tíos que vivían en la isla Camponés del Manglar. Ellos cuidaron el manglar, yo continúo. Soy la que cuida el manglar, sus raíces, troncos, hojas, el agua, ya que del manglar nos aprovechamos y se está escaseando. Soy yo, del país llamado Perú. Vivo en el distrito costero fronterizo del eterno verano, Aguas Verdes, provincia de Zarumilla, región de Tumbes. Soy yo, mujer rizoma de vida, a quien le gusta cuidar la naturaleza, la familia y a cuantos humildemente pueda. Soy yo, la que me preocupa la pesca abusiva. De pronto las especies se terminan. Cuido las tallas de las conchas negras, el tamaño de los cangrejos y que no se extraigan las hembras. Cuido los peces de tamaño recomendable. Cuido que la veda se cumpla. Soy yo, la que vive entre el río y el manglar, la que siembra por 5 meses en el año frijol, maíz, yuca, camote, maracuyá. Tengo árboles de mango, ciruelas, tamarindo. La que enfrenta sequías y mira el peligro que amenaza sus cultivos. Soy yo, la que lucha por estos pueblos, la que vive entre el agua dulce y el agua salada junto a gente buena y trabajadora pero abandonada. La que vive en una naturaleza importante y hermosa pero descuidada. Soy yo, a la que le importa la vida y con el permiso de Dios trato de salvarla. Hola. Hola, ¿tengo la palabra?
Yes, please.
Federico, no sé si Federico sigue con nosotras o no. Entonces, le voy a dar yo paso a Marianelli que es la compañera de CECONDEM Ecuador, del Foro Mundial de los Pueblos Pescadores. Marianeli, ¿nos escuchas bien?
Muy bien, muy bien.
Yo no consigo oírte. No sé si las demás personas pueden oírte.
Sí, podemos escuchar bien a Marinelli.
Vale.
Está funcionando bien el audio, gracias.
Vale, pues tal vez que soy yo. Pues Marianeli, si puedes contarnos brevemente un poco qué es lo que hacéis en vuestra organización, y os adelanto ya que después haremos un descanso por si alguien necesita descansar, pero cuéntanos, por favor.
Voy a empezar compartiendo con ustedes un poema de mi compañera recolectora de los estuarios de manglar de acá de Ecuador. ¿Cómo no he de quererte, tierra mía, si eres mi madre, eres mi hija, mi sentido? ¿Cómo no he de poner mi cuerpo y alma de murallas que detengan la crueldad de tu agonía? Soy orgullosa de ser mujer de mangle, mujer de caracol, mujer de 100 amores, que amasa el lodo con sus manos para dar de comer todos los días, como lo hace una fiera con sus críos. Aquí estaremos de pie hasta el infinito, mis manglares, mis hijas, mis amigas, porque somos una sola, somos uno. Así me aprendieron los sencillos. Hemos querido compartir con ustedes este proceso que hemos iniciado con mujeres latinoamericanas, ojalá podamos extendernos ya hasta más del sur, hoy desde Perú hasta México con el apoyo de la Red Mundial de la Pesca, para recoger justamente de lo que hablamos hoy, ese amor de las mujeres pescadoras y recolectoras que se expresa a través de los cuidados, ¿no? El cuidado del agua, el cuidado de los alimentos, el cuidado de los manglares, el cuidado de las pesquerías. Iniciamos este proceso reconociéndonos y valorándonos como mujeres de un territorio, porque también dicen las compañeras, nuestra forma de ser montaña o bosque es porque tenemos unos espíritus protectores en la naturaleza. Esta concepción de lo que somos, que no es más que una respuesta espiritual a la naturaleza que nos rodea, es lo que nos hace ser. Y eso es lo que hay que preservar. Porque si hay algo maravilloso en el mundo, es la diversidad. Y la diversidad es, o su origen está, donde uno habita, donde uno decide ser humano y ser naturaleza. Entonces, fundamentadas en estos pensamientos y sentimientos de las mujeres, vamos a seguir construyendo esta red de mujeres rizomas de vida, rizomas porque nos abrazamos y nos juntamos en los territorios marino-costeros amenazados por las grandes industrias de la acuacultura del camarón, de la pesca industrial, del turismo de gran escala, de la minería, de la explotación de gas y de petróleo, ¿no? Que van desplazando y despojando a las comunidades recolectoras y pescadoras de la zona marino-costeras. Y frente a esto queremos ser un gran abrazo, rizoma como son los manglares, mujeres conectadas en América Latina y en el mundo, que nos damos la mano para sostener con afecto, con amor, con sueños, con dolores y con amores, detener la destrucción de la propia humanidad y la destrucción de la naturaleza. Eso quería compartirles hoy. Muchas gracias.
Muchísimas gracias a ti por la emoción del poema y por la emoción de todas las palabras que has compartido después también con nosotras. Vamos a tomar ese abrazo de rizomas que nos decía Marianeli y nos vamos a ir a un descanso pequeñito. Enseguida estamos de vuelta. So we are going to a little break we are taking that hack, that rhizomatic hack that Marianelli just sent to all of us. And that's just it. We are going to a short break. So have some water, just move a little bit, and we're back soon. Thank you. See you soon. 5 minutes or so. Okay, welcome again. I hope this break made you good. And okay, so we are in our festival Resistance is Love, and we want to remind ourselves, each other, and the world to recognize the power of our collective. And here we come together as one to share what we have, we know, and we do. Okay, so Fede, when you want to.
Y hola de nuevo. Y bueno, pasamos al segundo bloque de este festival, que es el bloque de la unidad. Y solo decir que bueno, así como sabemos que el poder que nos oprime quiere que no recordemos, quiere borrar o tergiversar nuestra historia para quitarnos la conciencia, para dividirnos, separarnos, frente a eso tenemos que construir la unidad. Y construir la unidad, construir lo colectivo, no siempre es fácil. Todos tenemos en nuestras luchas, en nuestras organizaciones, esa experiencia. Sabemos que necesitamos paciencia, necesitamos mucha humildad, necesitamos convicción, para que desde la autonomía, desde la mayor autonomía, podamos tener esa confianza, desarrollar esa confianza en esa patria universal que es la humanidad, y poder confiar también en la abundancia de la vida, en la abundancia de nuestra madre tierra, que es ese ser maravilloso al que pertenecemos. Desde esta convicción, desde esta fuerza, tenemos que ser capaces de ir tejiendo y forjando la unidad, porque si no, si nos encuentran divididos y sin raíces, como veíamos en la primera parte, nos van a seguir oprimiendo y no vamos a poder construir ese otro mundo que estamos buscando. Y como testimonios de esta construcción, de esta manera de ser, vamos a dar la palabra a Kristen de Whitehanger, de la Alianza Solidaridad, Resistencia y Esperanza, que nos hable de su experiencia en esto que es construir lo colectivo, construir la unidad. Kristen, tienes la palabra.
Thank you, Federico. Greetings, beautiful people, comrades and kin. It is a blessing and an honor to be here with you all today. I am privileged to share a little bit about the work of Why Hunger. We've been working alongside the Alliance for Solidarity, Resistance, and Hope, and with our friends at A Growing Culture for several months now. It's amazing to see this manifest, this testimony of solidarity, of hope, of struggle, and of course, love. Resistance for Why Hunger. At Why Hunger, as an NGO operating within the United States, we realize we have a major responsibility. We believe that hunger is solvable. That is our resistance. We know that it's solvable and that food is a nutritious right for all human beings. Intimately tied to that, we understand that we rely on the health and the abundance of Mother Earth. And so we see that not only is food a human right, but that we need to support the struggle in defense of the territories and land. And so we mobilize resources to the grassroots. We believe the front line and the folks that are in struggle with the lived experience have the vision, the dream, the ability, the solutions. And so we work to mobilize those resources directly to the front line, coordinating with social movements, grassroots formations all over the globe. And so very grateful to have this opportunity to work in coordination with all of you. It's beautiful to see a lot of our friends here, and we are wishing you so much abundance. Joy is part of that resistance. And so again, just appreciating the opportunity to celebrate with you today. And do not hesitate to reach out if there is a way we can support you in your struggle. We believe in you, and we are sending prayers and hope for continued strength.
family and friends, thank you so much, Kristen, for sharing this amazing work. It has been a privilege working with you and learning from you. And we will be seeing a little bit more of the work of Why Hunger soon. Again, we have some changes in the program. And you know what? We're here for some kind of change. How that change comes is a different story. The scheduled presentation that we had from our comrades and family in Colombia, we have not heard confirmation, but we do have Samuel joining us from the pilgrimage, who was able to take time and make the journey to come here and share with you. So if you allow me, yes, Susie, I see your face. It is exactly my face and my heart and my being. And this is the kind of resistance we are here to celebrate. This is exactly the kind of resistance that we are here to celebrate. I will yield to my brother and have him share with all of us a little bit of what he is doing and what their family is doing. Samuel, the floor is yours, my brother. Samuel, if you can hear us, if you are speaking, I see your name, but we can't. Okay, please make sure you are unmuted. Yes, you are there in attire as well. Oh my goodness. There.
Yes.
Yes.
I should be tired. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. I feel like I'm honored from a long journey. I had to travel to here to be able to access the internet and to be able to share with you. And I feel like I'm not late because, as you said, this is really what resistance is. It's all about, we don't have to be bound by time, but we have to be moved by energy and spirit of our ancestors, because we know they worked tirelessly for us to be able to live such a life. And let me come in officially, and I would like to speak a little bit, because I'm in a very, very special process of remembering, honoring, and following the steps, and try to see the steps of our ancestors, of our elders. So I would like to start by honoring them by speaking a little bit of my mother tongue as a part of decolonizing, everything that we do. So Kaji Samuel na Carola Nagia Naimwa Loitai Tormasai Tonko Tanzania na kajaga shuling tangara kindo iwang mati yanakop ona shomoito amo egara lungana odi ala rabal sabu la sargata long kidi long kulupok kagore bogi ni jas la ne jas la ngara na kunu jas la ngara lungana ko jas la ngara dogiri bogin egara lungana ko ni ngile myo kaki jaren golon el tangara ki ngala shoro na shoro to iba much nera na paga shiko prenyering prare na juga ngala shoro sabu na ile yo no sabu be yo lo wadere ngere ngena na kaja shi wala ganatmu ar mo na otigo ha garanti na kaja ka shole amuda natmu ora natmu ne togi ngero shole ne do sina yala jo kala sholo ngana mo ngolon tenene ngajaiwu. So my name's Samuel, and let me translate a little bit of what I've just said. I'm Samuel Nangiria from Tanzania, from Maasai indigenous community of Tanzania and Kenya. And I'm so much honored to be able to make it. I thought I couldn't because of the terrain. I had to make sure that everything goes on properly. And I came directly from a very, very sacred, very spiritual process of honoring, remembering, but also trying to visualize the steps, the footsteps of our ancestors, and the way they resisted all the fights from the colonial, from all fronts. They resisted, and I have to say a little bit of this blessing I've just said in Ma, and this is we acknowledge our ancestors who made path for us to follow, to live a good life, and the reborn generation who compel us so deeply and whom we are ultimately accountable. Similarly, we are we acknowledge our elders, those who have gone before us and continue to walk among us today, who gave us so much of their lives to prepare the ground for this initiative, and their families who supported them and held them up when the weight of the burden must have seemed unbearable. So this is a blessing. This is a kind of a spirit that's really moving our process, because they've been like saying we resist, but normally when you walk, when you have the engagement, when you speak to the trees, when you speak to wildlife, when you step on a barefooted and feel there's so many of voices from our planet. There's so many. And this pilgrimage is Olamal in my language. It's a process where we are trying to remember, we are trying really to show the honoring of what our ancestors did and how they managed, even with no technology, but they could communicate. With no all the privileges of today, there was no transport. They could walk thousands of kilometers. They could sit and they could fast. They could starve because of what they believed and what they stood for. And this is why we are here today. And that honoring for me, so they told me to send you greetings, but send you energy, not only from their hearts, but also from so much of whom we met on the way. Not only the youth, not only the women, not only the elders, but also the stone, the water. We could speak to everyone. And there's always this energy that is within our solidarity. So this is the message they asked me to pass here. And they said, you don't have to worry and you don't have to be desperate. You need to be strong because we are there. Those who have gone before us and those who are with us and the future generation are so much demanding a lot from us, and we have to deliver. So this is a message, and in connection to what is happening in Marseilland, it's not only about resisting, it's not only about climate change, it's not only about colonialism in its whole entirety, in different forms. We are decolonizing and we are standing strong and we are resisting. From the loss of language, from the land grabbing, from replacing our traditional schooling, from religious kind of point of view, we are standing to ensure that our future generation have something to inherit from us. And our planet, our Mother Earth, yes, it has always given us a lot. We have to make sure that we become accountable, we become a friend. We don't have to dominate and manage the planet. The planet is not something to be managed. This is something to be respected. So for us, we've gone through challenges of land grabbing in the name of conservation. And this process, what we are doing now, this pilgrimage, is actually an awakening spirit. It's a spirit that gives us power as the current generation to understand that our parents, our ancestors have fought so hard to ensure that they kept everything we have today, including our culture. And that is always like giving a new direction, a new way of expressing. And instead of complaining, we decided to showcase, we decided to demonstrate that invisible connection that our governments, corporations, media, and all the elites cannot really understand. And through a process, a documented process like this one, we are unveiling and trying to show in a very, very clear way the connection and why we have been always resisting. We are fighting and losing ourselves because we know we are fighting something that is crucial, not only for us, but for the entire planet. And with that in mind, I know we will share a lot about what is happening in the near future, what we've been able to document, but also incredible information, incredible energy and spirit we've been able to gather in this process of 200 kilometers. And for sure, that's going to be energy to everyone, to every indigenous community. across the planet, because we share a lot of commonalities in terms of pains, historical pains. We share a lot of struggles, and now that climate change is actually in the middle, intervening so strongly. Indigenous people, we must now lead the way. We are the only hope in this planet. And I think we have to prepare leading the planet in the recovery. We have to prepare leading the whole world in terms of showing the way how you could live a sustainable, harmonious, and mutual respecting life. So this is what I could say. I don't have to take time because I know I'm late, but otherwise, just being here is actually a message to tell you that we are all standing strong. And I think this is the time we need to show our resistance. Now that we can meet over such platforms like this, and sharing energy and sharing successes, we don't have to complain anymore. We have to stand strong, because if tears could be the solution, then we have a lot, and it has not been like we have not been sympathized for that. So solidarity way that can always be something that we scare, those who are doing harm. And I feel like I'm not late because I've actually been resistant to time. Otherwise, if I was to be bound by the time, I shouldn't have joined you. Thank you so much.
Gracias, compañero. Muy interesante, muy emotiva tu participación. Quería excusar a los compañeros de Fensuagro que iban a participar en nombre de la CLOC Colombia. No han podido conectarse ni enviar el material hasta ahora. Ellos son miembros de la Vía Campesina. Y bueno, yo he participado con estas organizaciones muy de cerca en lo que es la aplicación de los acuerdos de paz en Colombia, desde la Vía Campesina. Y decir simplemente que tenemos que hacer, cuando estamos hablando de unidad en la lucha, de unidad en la resistencia, tenemos que hacer un homenaje muy importante a los movimientos sociales, a los movimientos indígenas, afros, campesinos de Colombia, porque en uno de los contextos más difíciles y más duros del planeta llevan 70 años resistiendo y construyendo movimiento, construyendo unidad, en un sitio donde la disidencia, donde el querer recordar, el querer luchar por la justicia, el querer amar, como estamos diciendo, te puede costar la vida, te puede costar la desaparición, te puede costar verte forzado a tener que dejar tu territorio. En Colombia, la CLOC es una organización compuesta por 10 organizaciones de base de los distintos territorios y sectores de Colombia, y estamos trabajando, como decía, en la implementación de los acuerdos de paz. Han muerto desde hace ya 4 años que se firmaron los acuerdos, han muerto más de 1000 líderes de los movimientos sociales. Este año ha sido un año importante de resistencia, porque desde la huelga de abril, que ha sido un gran movimiento popular, ha habido una represión y un uso de la fuerza desmesurado. Se están dando unas circunstancias muy, muy duras, en donde se siguen, como digo, muchas organizaciones intentando crear mesas, encuentros y tal. Y desde la convicción de que los acuerdos de paz, la paz en Colombia, la paz con justicia, la justicia en la tierra sobre todo y en el sector rural, no va a llegar sin la movilización de las propias bases, de las propias organizaciones sociales en unidad. Hay mucho que ver. Yo os invito a interesaros por lo que está pasando allí y expresar toda vuestra solidaridad y apoyo posible, y presión a los países que están permitiendo que esto pase, están causando también esto, y en el chat he puesto un enlace a la página de Vía Campesina donde podéis ver nuestros boletines que sacamos de una manera periódica y donde están las cifras y la realidad, y también he puesto el enlace de una de las actividades que vamos a hacer, Te Escribo Colombia, que va a explicar Berta ahora. Muchas gracias y os pido eso, fuerza a los compañeros y compañeras de Colombia, toda nuestra solidaridad. Berta.
Sí, gracias, Federico. Solamente añadir esto a las palabras que has dicho, que una de las formas de mostrar esa solidaridad y ese apoyo internacionalista del que estaba hablando ahora Federico es precisamente este festival literario, Te Escribo Colombia se llama, podéis teclearlo y buscarlo así, y es un festival que se ha lanzado desde esta alianza que nos ha convocado hoy aquí, la Alianza Solidaridad, Resistencia y Esperanza, y es eso, os invitamos a escribir a las compañeras y los compañeros de Colombia para mostrarles nuestra solidaridad y nuestro apoyo en sus luchas. And I think we can go now with our next participant, Susie Gilbert. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you well. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
I cannot hear you. I mean, it's always the same. Okay, now I can. It's always the same problem for me.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's great to be here at this gorgeous festival with you gorgeous people. I'm Susie Gilbert and I'm in England. And I'm here to very briefly speak to you about the case of Julian Assange, which I assume many of you might be familiar with. Julian has been sitting in prison for 2 years in England, in London, at a prison that is known like the British Guantanamo Bay prison. It's called Belmarsh. And I'd just like to start with a little quote from him. And the quote is, "If wars can be started by lies, maybe they can be stopped by the truth." And Julian has been in prison for 2 years and was in the Ecuadorian embassy for 7 years, where he received political asylum for publishing the truth, for publishing in conjunction with the world's leading newspapers, the truth about war crimes and corporate crimes. And I'm sure if you go to the WikiLeaks website, you can find documents that would help any of the causes you are working on. Environmental causes, anti-war, peace causes, you name it, WikiLeaks will have published something. And so I'd like to just briefly tell you what is happening now with his case and why this moment is so key. So, knock on wood, arguably we are in the most positive moment of the last 10 years. Why? Because Julian actually won his legal case. Just to remind you, because it's been a long journey, the United States is trying to extradite Julian Assange from the UK to the US, where they want to prosecute him for espionage and where he would face life in prison in a supermax prison and basically not see a person again. And again, this is really trying to prosecute him for journalism. Now, he won his case at the beginning of January, and the UK denied the US's request to extradite him on the grounds that he would likely not even survive in the US prison system, that he was a suicide risk. The US has now appealed, and in 1 month, at the end of October, there will be the appeal hearing where the US is arguing, no, our prisons are just fine, let's bring him to the US. And again, there he would face life in prison. So this moment now is critical because he's won his case, but the US is pushing still to appeal. And the reason that this campaign is in such a strong position right now is because there is united support for him from all the leading human rights groups, from all the key social movements in the Global South, from all the press freedom groups and all the leading newspapers, whether it's El País or the New York Times or the Guardian or Der Spiegel. Every leading newspaper has defended Assange and has said if they start with Assange, they can go after any journalist. So the end of October is when the US will be having their appeal hearing. And what I encourage everyone to do is to follow the Don't Extradite website, the Don't Extradite Assange website, which is, I will just put in the chat. And you can see in the action section, you can see the many, many actions that are going to be happening around the world. And I would invite you to continue to get involved. You can get involved by simply amplifying existing actions on your social media. You can follow what's happening in London. There will be many demonstrations. Simply please share those. Keep the momentum going. So you can either amplify things that are happening or start your own. And there are many examples you will see on the Take Action page where you can put out a statement by your trade union or by your organization to put out a statement, to hold a sign and put it on social media, to write a letter to your local newspaper. There are many, many things you can do. And really, the only thing that's going to ensure that we win this case is popular support and resisting with love, so that we are really fighting for the truth here. Because I'm not sure how many of you saw an amazing clip that recently went viral about Julian talking about Afghanistan. And I can try and play it for you. I'm not sure if it will work because I'm not very good technically. But all to say, we are in a positive moment with this campaign. And I would welcome you to get involved in any small way. This momentum has become big and positive through the actions of many around the world, you know, going up against the US and the UK. And Julian is getting updates from his lawyers and from his wife about what everyone is doing. And it's keeping him going. And just to remember, you have the support of all the mainstream papers and press freedom groups and human rights groups. This case is in a good moment. So the next few weeks and the next few months are key. And so I really thank you for this opportunity to speak briefly to you all. And I hope next year, Julian will be able to speak himself out of prison and for him to talk with you all. I will try now to play a little clip. I'm going to put the clip in the chat so you can look at it yourself. You may have seen it on social media, but I believe it's a clip of Julian talking about what was really going on with Afghanistan. And I think he was talking about this in 2011, and it's a very short clip. I'll try and play it. It may work, it may not work, but if it doesn't work, you can watch the clip. You don't have time, so just watch it yourself. And again, please check out Don't Extradite Assange. And thank you for your support, and thank you for this opportunity to speak at this beautiful, beautiful event.
Thank you, Susie. And let's hope, as you just said, for our next event, he will be able to be with us.
That would be amazing.
Let's hope that. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. And please don't forget to look at the chat, because we are putting there all the information about all the struggles that we are sharing today. And they are, as you have seen, they are all asking for support or, for help to amplify the message. So don't forget to have a look on those messages at the chat, so we can get united and in solidarity with all these struggles and support each other. And we would like now to welcome Betty from Why Hunger. Betty, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay. Welcome.
Welcome. Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be sharing space with you today. My name is Betty Furman. Along with Kristen, we're part of the Global Movements program at White Hunger. So my role today is to share about how in organizing this festival, we reached out to our networks far and wide, asked for artists and creatives to express what Resistance is Love means to them. And so I'll be presenting the 10 artists that we selected to produce into prints and posters so that we can raise critical funds for social movements that are defending land, water, and food sovereignty around the world. So, right, a reminder, art is a powerful form of solidarity, and artists have a unique power to build awareness and spark action. No revolution happens without art, right? So here we go. I believe they're gonna have the slides going as I share a bit of the excerpts of the answers to the artists' question, what resistance means to them. And when you go to whitehunger.org/resistance-is-love, you'll see the full answer. So what is resistance to you? Caro, who you're seeing her art here, shared, identifying moments of joy is my form of resistance. Ade from France, resistance to me is fighting for all of us to live with right, sufficient resources and dignity. Snecky from Manchester, UK, to me, resistance means a coming together of people, resources, and motivations. It means recognizing power imbalances and injustices and doing whatever you can do to resist these within your remit in order to fight for a fairer society. Tom Kim from Washington, D.C., United States. Resistance is a difficult path we must choose when there seems no hope for justice. It is frustration turned to action. It is apathy turned to empathy. It's how we can give dignity back to those we love in an unfair system, even when we feel our own voices are only whispers. Matali Sharma from New York. Oh, this is Annie Lucian from the Philippines, excuse me. Resistance is a conscious decision we make every day to collectively struggle against those who seek to silence, kill, and abuse us. For artists, this means joining the people of marginalized sectors and resisting the forces that continue to oppress them. Until our true emancipation is received, art will serve as a refuge for those denied safe spaces. Matali Sharma from New York. Resistance to me is the cultivation of care, kinship, and liberation that stretches across time and space. Kathleen Hamilton from Lisbon, Portugal. Resistance to me is rooted in community. It's how we show up for each other every day in a society that tries to separate us in order to exploit our most vulnerable. Resistance is defying the industrial machine of capitalism through using love and compassion as our tools. Joya Burrow from London took this photograph of the Black Roots Collective, who say, resistance is going for it when people tell you no, but when you know what is right, growing food in urban environments, eating food we can trust and that nurtures us, and working together to create our futures, as well as believing in the power of people, community, bringing people of the earth and back to nature. Mahaka Gral from New York, United States. Resistance is resilience. It's the power to say no and be okay about it. Andrew Kadama from Oakland, California, United States. To me, resistance means moving from a place of focused care and love to collectivity, building radical spaces outside of the constraints of expectation, using imagination and dreaming, not as a means of escape, but to ground us. So once again, these are the excerpts from the artists that we got many submissions of, and we're so glad that we're able to have these in posters. And you can see the link in the chat where you can go and support the Alliance by purchasing these posters. And with that, thank you so much for letting me share. Glad to be with you all.
Thank you, Betty. They were all amazing, and I hope you are going all direct to the website and have a look at them again. And I'm afraid we ran out of time to make a small break, but no worries, because we are going straight to our next segment, which is going to be really interesting, just as we are seeing during all the afternoon or morning. And so this segment is called Cultivate, and we want to honor here all those peasants and all those people in general who cultivate the land and who feed us. And we would like to reclaim food sovereignty and the right to access to land. And we would also like to remember that we are part of the land, of nature, of water, and of the forests. So, I mean, let's not forget all these important relationships. Federico.
Sí, realmente yo creo que en esta parte en donde tomamos conciencia y nos organizamos en el hacer. ¿Qué hacemos con esta unidad, con estos recuerdos para transformar la realidad, ¿no? La realidad colectiva, la realidad personal, la realidad espiritual? ¿Cómo ponemos en marcha esta resistencia, esta capacidad de amar, de ser solidarios y de luchar con alegría? Desde el movimiento campesino, como campesinos, como trabajadores rurales, nuestra forma más importante de luchar, de resistir, es defendiendo los recursos naturales, defendiendo la tierra, defendiendo el agua, defendiendo las semillas campesinas y cultivando alimentos para nutrir y alimentar a nuestros pueblos desde lo local, desde lo territorial, desde la soberanía económica, política que queremos que tengan nuestros pueblos. Entonces, en todas estas luchas o en todos estos fenómenos de cultivar, la lucha por la tierra, por este elemento que para las grandes empresas, para los grandes poderes es una mercancía, se usa para la especulación y para esquilmarla. Para el movimiento campesino, el movimiento indígena, para la gente de la tierra, es nuestra madre, y la cultivamos y la defendemos. Y en eso, este movimiento que vamos a presentar ahora, este vídeo de Katarungan, de una organización filipina que justamente defiende la reforma agraria y la lucha por la tierra, es el movimiento por la reforma agraria y la justicia social de Filipinas, que ha desarrollado un trabajo muy importante en estos últimos años, y vamos a pasar a que presente este vídeo la compañera Joana, ¿no? Joana Fernández de Katarungan. Gracias, Joana.
Joana no va a poder estar con nosotras por la
vale.
diferencia horaria. She won't be able to be with us because of the lack of time. But we will have some videos from them.
Yeah, thank you, and good evening, everyone from the Philippines. Am I loud, clear? In behalf of the Rural Corps, which represents the peasants, indigenous peoples, women, and fisher folks here in the Philippines, I would like to share with you our organization. Just a short introduction. Katarungan is a peasant movement that builds democratic rural movements through autonomous organizations. Our struggle for rural democratization is rights-based, whereas rural citizens We assert our basic democratic rights and seek to establish rural communities with fair and equitable social and production relations. We nurture the integrity of our environment through agroecology and protection and rehabilitation of ecosystem. Wait, oh my God. There's there's an alarm. Okay. As such, the struggle to end exploitation and oppression of rural people by pursuing genuine agrarian reform, land and territorial rights, agroecology, and food sovereignty. We build solidarity among people by linking small food producers with consumers, and we struggle against corporate domination and liberalization. Thus, we link up with other progressive forces in society to push for people's alternative to overcome the dominant, exploitative, and unsustainable capitalist system. So today and tomorrow, we are in solidarity in building a new future with everyone here joining us, because we also believe that resistance is love. Thank you, and mabuhay tayong lahat. Thank you. And also, I'd just like to explain the short video, the song that we would like to share with you. Tano is a song, is a revolutionary song here in the Philippines that represents a farmer or peasant that was victim by exploitation. So thank you very much.
Ang kulay, ulitin ito ay inihandog namin sa lahat ng magsasaka sa buong mundo.
Buhay niya ay bukid, kaulayaw bawat saling. Munti niyang pangarap, dito na nalilibing. Kailan pa ba makikita ang lupang minana ay maaari na rin tawagin kanya? Bawat butil na pinagyaman ay bakit ng kawalan. Sa gitna ng kahirapan may uring na kinabang. Kailan pa ba makikita ang lupang minana ay maaari na rin tawagin kanya? Lalayari ng lupa, mga magsasaka, tutulungan sila ng mga manggagawa. Babawin ang lupang ninakaw ng ilan, at ang bunga ng lupa'y bayan na ang naani. Lalayari ng lupa, mga magsasaka, tutulungan sila ng mga manggagawa. Babawin ang lupang ninakaw ng ilan, at ang bunga ng lupa'y bayan na ang naani. Tinatanong ko ngayon sa inyo, o hindi nyo ba naiisip na ang lupang ito'y sa atin at hindi sa lalong mayroon? Dapat bawiin ang lupang to'y sa atin, sa iyo at sa kanya. Kay Pedro, Maria, kay Juan at Jose. Kay Pedro, Maria, kay Juan at Jose. ito'y sa atin at hindi sa lalong mayroon. Dapat bawiin, ang lupang to'y sa atin, sa'yo at sa kanya. Kay Pedro, Maria, kay Juan at Jose. Kay Pedro, Maria, kay Juan at Jose. Kung ikaw ba'y nababahala sa awitin kong ito, ikaw ba'y Panginoong may lupa o may-ari ng Pilipinas? Dapat bawiin, ang lupang to'y sa atin, sa'yo at sa kanya. Kay Pedro, Maria, kay Juan at Jose. Kay Pedro, Maria, kay Juan at Jose. O hindi ba naibigin na ang lupang ito'y naanan natin sa ating mga kamay? Dapat bawiin, lupang ito'y sa atin, sa'yo at sa kanya. Kay Pedro, Maria, kay Juan at Jose. Kay Pedro, Maria, kay Juan at May isang magsasaka, Kano ang pangalan? Lupa niyang sinasaka, Daming kayamanan. Minsa'y nagkasakit, Kaisa-isang anak, Inubos ang konting pera, Di pa rin lumalakas. Sa asendero'y nangutang 100 piso lang. At ito'y madodoble sa anihan ng bayaran. At kapag tumaya, madodoble na naman. Madodoble ng madodoble hanggang di mabayaran. Lumipas ang ilang anihan, sinaganta ng bagyong nagsdaan, o prinsitano, nabaon sa utang. Kaya ang lupa niya, ang naging kabayaran, may utang pa si Tano, nagkikisaka na lang. Ilang pangutulad ko ni Tano, pinahihirapan. Sila'y marami pa ngayon, nandun sa kabundukan. At itong si Tano ay di ka naglaho nang muli makita, nandun sa kabundukan. Sumama sa sanggatahan. God.
Thank you.
Muy bueno.
And thank you. We really enjoyed the song. And thank you, Joanna. I didn't know you had been able to be with us. So that made me happy. Thank you so much. Yes. Okay, and we have another song.
We are the Sepa Katanungan, members from Sicogon Island, Carles and Iloilo, Philippines, struggling against planetary capitalism. The hands of our Vincent brothers and sisters in Colombia are also our hands. We, your brothers and sisters in the Philippines, also nourish the soil through our hands, so the soil will take care of us and love us back. But the robbers are taking our island. They are cutting the cord that links our life and soul to nature. They are keeping profit by killing nature and thereby killing us. We now join you in this fight against injustice. We will take back what is plundered. Bawiin ang lupa. Tinatanong ko ngayon sa'yo, hindi mo ba naisip na ang lupang ito'y sa atin at hindi sa lalong mayroon? Dapat bawiin, dapat bawiin. Ano bang tayo sa atin, sa'yo at sa kanya? Kay Pedro Maria, kay Juan at Jose. Kay Pedro Maria, kay Juan at Jose. Tanong ko ngayon sa'yo, hindi mo ba naisip na ang lupang ito'y nililang natin sa ating mga kamay? Dapat bawiin, dapat bawiin. Ano bang tayo sa atin, sa'yo at sa kanya? Kay Pedro Maria, kay Juan at Jose. Kay Pedro Maria, kay Juan at Jose. Ikaw ay nababahala sa awitin kong ito. Ikaw ba'y Panginoong may luha o may-ari ng Pilipinas? Dapat bawiin, dapat bawiin. Ano bang tayo sa atin, sa'yo at sa kanya? Kay Pedro Maria, kay Juan at Jose. Kay Pedro Maria, kay Juan at Jose. Dapat bawiin, dapat bawiin. Ano bang tayo sa atin, sa'yo at sa kanya? Kay Pedro Maria, kay Juan at Jose. Dapat bawiin.
Era increíble. Digo que Daniel Biglietti y Víctor Jara estarían muy emocionados al escuchar la canción que compusieron y que cantaron en filipino. En dos versiones, además. Genial. Muy, muy
Me
bueno.
parece Colombia también en esas palabras, justo. Perdón, que pensé que Federico iba a seguir.
No, no,
I'm
no,
sorry
ya.
for the interruption. Sí,
Presentas tú, ¿no? Ahora, el
sí, sigo
próximo
yo.
grupo. Bien,
Que me ha
pasamos
gustado
a África.
mucho esa parte de tener a Filipinas justo uniéndose con Colombia, ¿no? Justo en este festival. Vemos cómo estamos juntas. And yeah, we would like to pass now to our next participant, which is Sinegugu Sukulu. He comes from South Africa, and he is the deputy chairperson for Sustaining the Wild Coast, an NGO that works to support struggles of indigenous people to Pondoland, I'm sorry for my pronunciation, the tribe to which he belongs. Sinegugu, can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, thank you. Yes, I can hear you. Thank you, Peter.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's share with us your thoughts.
Okay. Thank you for the introduction. I come from Pondoland. The land of Mampondo is along the east coast in South Africa, in the Eastern Cape province. I think as a way of a background, as a Mampondo, we are indigenous people. And as indigenous people of Mbondoland, we are, like many other indigenous people globally, very much connected to the land. Just to give you a little snippet of that, our connection to the land is that when a baby is born, you know that the umbilical cord will drop off after a few days. The mothers, they know better. And then, so that umbilical cord is taken and they will dig a hole inside the heart and is buried onto the ground. And normally when we talk, in order to demonstrate our belonging to the land, So we say our umbilical cord is buried on this land. When we say that, we mean we belong to this land. And we belonging to the land is very significant to us because we don't own the land, but the land owns us. So, and the symbol of bearing your umbilical cord, the land becomes the mother. And because the land is your mother, so the umbilical cord is what connects you to the land. And hence you say, I come from this land. And therefore the land, so we are land, and the land is our mother, and our responsibility is to take care of the land as custodians or as stewards of the land. So as you grow up, the land is the mother who takes care of you. The land feeds you, it clothes you. When you are sick, the land gives you the medicine in the form of herbs. And when you're hungry, the land gives you food in the form of fruits, in roots, in the crops which you grow on the land. And when you die, the land takes you back into it. So therefore, without the land, you are nothing. So when the imperialists and the colonizers came to the continent, like they've done in many continents all over the world, they would take away the land. And when your land is taken, you are nobody. So, and you have no life, you have no integrity, you lose connection, you have no culture, you have no medicine, you have no food, you become a beggar. Because of that, we believe, therefore, you cannot sell the land because the land does not belong to you. You belong to the land. You cannot sell your mother. You cannot put a price tag to the one who gave birth to you. Yours is to protect, honor, cherish, and take care. And as a custodian and as a steward, the land is bigger than the people, because the land could exist and live and thrive without the people, but people could never live, thrive, exist, have life without the land. So therefore, I'm giving this to you as a background to say, when we protest and when we show love, first and foremost, the love and the respect and the peace is what we give to the land. The way we collect our medicine, the way we grow our crops, the way we herd our livestock, the way we graze our animals, we have to show respect all the time. I can go on and on. I think that's a topic for another day in terms of how we pay respect to the land in recognition of the fact that land is way, way bigger than us. So one old man in my village, who's late now, was very famous to saying, how do you put a price tag on the land and sell it when you know for sure that this land which you are selling, the money you will have it doesn't matter how much, whether they give you millions or billions, but you will spend the money, and the money will be, you will use it up, but the land will remain there. How do you therefore sell something which is something which which cannot be used up, but you equate it, you put a price tag with something. So therefore the land is not to be sold, because the land is, you cannot sell the one who gives birth to you, the one who looks after you, the one who produces you, and the one who will also take care of you. So therefore, so with that understanding, then you will understand. And my talk today is not about the land, but that's a background. My talk today is about the songs that in order to protest, and I know it's not only about us as a Mamponi, it is about the people all over the world, that we compose songs for various reasons in order to record history. Our oral history is told through songs. The events, the historical events that happen within our land, within the people, we compose songs to mark those particular historical events in order to document the history that this once happened on this particular area. This was once done by the people. So we compose songs. We compose songs to pass messages to those who are listening. And we sing these songs whenever we gather, whenever we come together, in order to pass on a message, in order to, we also compose songs to protest, to voice out that which we are not in favor, that which we are not happy with, and we sing the songs. Even in terms of to challenge, we might be challenging the leadership. We might be challenging the government. We might be challenging our fellow leaders within the immediate environment. But we use music. So music is a very critical component of the culture, of our way of life, even to pass emotions, in order to take the emotions out from internally and bring them out so that people know exactly how we feel. So we compose a song. And some of the songs, when we gather in rituals, in ceremonies, in weddings, in everything, you actually compose the song then, and people learn the song, and the people sing, and then clap, and then they dance. You will dance, and people will join you. And last but not least, we compose songs as therapy. In order to something which is causing, which is hurting us, in order to take that, in order to create therapy for ourselves through music. That's why sometimes the songs come with certain instruments. They come with drums, and in order to blend it nicely so that we could hear and we could be able to give ourselves therapy, and we dance what is hurting us and the hardship and the challenge, because through music, no one is going to stop you and say, what do you do? If you have got a problem with the song I sing, then compose your own song and talk to me and talk back to me with your own song so that I could hear how you feel. So a song, even very hurtful and difficult events that we have come across, but through music, we are able to articulate, but also to get rid of the pain, because through the music and dance, we can be happy. And I'm going to ask that a song is played there, and that's the choir from my community, in order to share with you what the song is all about. Please play the song for us.
My name is Sineku Kuzuku.
And I'd like to say, in terms of that one, that's a song, that one, which was created or composed because when people go to work in the city, they don't come back. And the city, we say the city swallows them. So therefore, the song says, when it is spring and it's time to cultivate new crops at the end of winter. So they say, come back. You who have gone to the city and never came back, it's time for you to come back. You have got a reason to come back and put seeds onto the soil. So to protest that it is a bad idea, it's a bad thing, it's a bad behavior for people to go to the city and never come back. So buya kuyalinywa, buya, come back. It's time to plow. Kuyalinywa, Chipeli Dala, the one who has been in the city, not even writing letters back, not making calls back home. So it is time to come back. So this song is sung in order to pass the message to those that you must come back. Will you please find another clip, another song to play?
My brother, I think now, as far as the transition goes, because we are running behind
All right.
That's time. I have put the links on the Zoom chat. I hope everyone will be clicking on them, saving them, sharing them, receiving this amazing energy. And I want to thank you very much for all you do. Thank you for invoking our ancestors' tongues. Thank you for reminding us of just how healing music is. And for that, I share with everyone who is with us here that we will be having a healing sound ceremony to close this festival of love. Resistance is love. Brother Senegugu, thank you so much. Please receive our love, our light to your community, to your family. And for those who don't know, it is the South African Heritage Month this September. So stay tuned, follow that website that we dropped earlier, and more respect, more love, more solidarity and resistance. Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you.
For those who are still with us, thank you for your patience, for your resistance, for your perseverance against the tech gremlins and the technical difficulties. We continue. I will change my language now to honor and welcome our comrades from Palestine. مساء الخير, السلام عليكم, صباح الخير. أي من مشاركينا من حول العالم. أنا اسمي ديما محمود. ده مهرجان المقاومة حب. Resistance is love. برحب بأخونا محمد من جمعية أواك في فلسطين لنسمع منهم قصة نضال، قصة مقاومة، قصة مشوار حب مع أرض رفض الهزيمة، وشعب ما بيعرف كلمة هزيمة، ما بيعرف غير العزيمة. برحب بأخونا محمد اللي حيرحب بفنان ويشاركنا بكل أنواع المقاومة اللي بنسمعها من فلسطين. من فلسطين ما بنسمع غير ناحية واحدة. ويشرفني إنه نسمع الآن من أهل أصحابنا في فلسطين. أخ محمد.
شكرا ديما. مساء الخير جميعا. شكرا يعني لهذه المقدمة الرائعة. شكرا. طبعا 70 سنة من النضال ولا زال سيستمر نضال، صراع طبعا على الأرض وعلى المياه وعلى جميع الأصعدة. يعني مداخلتي راح تكون بجزئين. جزء راح أتحدث فيه عن اتحاد لجان العمل الزراعي والمسيرة الطويلة في النضال والمقاومة، مقاومة للاحتلال، مقاومة للمستوطنين على الأرض، بالإضافة لفيلم قصير مدة 6 دقائق راح يتحدث عن تاريخ أو يلخص عملنا في السنوات الأخيرة، اللي هو امتداد للسنوات لأكثر من 30 عام من النضال في وجه الاحتلال. طبعا نحكي عن اتحاد لجان العمل الزراعي اختصارا اللي هو أواك. تأسس الاتحاد سنة 1986 استجابة للاعتداءات اللي مورست من قبل الاحتلال الإسرائيلي ومستوطنيه على الأرض. الاعتداءات تمثلت في سلب الأراضي، السيطرة على المياه. نحكي تقريبا 85% من مصادر المياه في الضفة الغربية وقطاع غزة تحت سيطرة الاحتلال، وبالتالي السيادة مفقودة. هذا أهم شيء في الموضوع، سيادة على الأرض، سيادة على المياه غير موجودة عندنا كشعب فلسطيني وكمزارعين. طبعا هي الأرض أساس الصراع مع الاحتلال، فهي تقريبا 60% من مساحة الضفة الغربية مسيطر عليها من الاحتلال. طبعا المستفيدين من مشاريعنا بالأساس هم المزارعين لتعزيز صمودهم، سواء ثروة حيوانية أو صيادي أسماك أو المشاريع اللي لها علاقة بالمياه، إدارة المياه. المزارعين أو العائلات المهمشة والفقيرة طبعا هي اللي بحاجة لمساعدة. عندنا اللجان الزراعية واللي هي يعني مكون رئيسي من شغلنا كاتحاد لجان عمل زراعي، مشتق من اسمنا. اللجان الزراعية موجودة ومنتشرة في كل مكان لمساعدة المزارعين بالجهد الجماعي والعمل الجماعي لمقاومة الاحتلال. طبعا لا ننسى الشباب والمرأة، هم جزء أساس من هم مستقبل طبعا للنضال ولدحر الاحتلال. وفي عندنا اللي هو التعاونيات، سواء تعاونيات بالتركيز على التعاونيات النسوية والتعاونيات الفلاحية للمزارعين اللي واقعة ضمن مناطق جيم أو اللي هي المناطق المحتلة بنسميها حسب تصنيفات اتفاقيات أوسلو. طبعا بس يعني عشان للتوضيح أكثر، أوسلو قسم الضفة الغربية لمناطق ألف اللي هي تحت السيطرة الفلسطينية، تقريبا مساحتها أقل من 20% من مساحة الضفة الغربية. باء تحت السيطرة الأمن الاحتلال والخدمات تحت سيطرة السلطة. مناطق جيم سيطرة كاملة ضمن أو اللي هي تقريبا تمثل 60% من مساحة الضفة الغربية تحت سيطرة الاحتلال، وهي تقريبا 90% من الأراضي الزراعية في مناطق جيم. فعمليا هي سيطرة على الأرض وسيطرة على المياه. طبعا المشاريع اللي احنا بنقوم فيها لتعزيز صمود المزارعين في هذه المناطق اللي بنحكي عنها حسب تصنيفات أوسلو مناطق جيم، استصلاح الأراضي، لأن الأراضي إذا ما كان فيها استصلاح بتسهل عملية السيطرة والمصادرة من الاحتلال وبناء المستوطنات في هذه المناطق. نحكي عن حوالي 600 ألف مستوطن، نحكي عن حوالي 200 تقريبا 200 مستوطنة في الضفة الغربية وفي القدس. كل هاي المستوطنات بتسيطر على تقريبا 90% من أراضي الضفة الغربية اللي هي الأراضي الزراعية أو مستقبل الزراعة في فلسطين. طبعا الشغلة الثانية والمهمة اللي احنا بنقوم فيها كاتحاد لجان عمل زراعي اللي هي موضوع الطرق الزراعية. الطرق الزراعية مهمة ليش؟ لأن أول شيء خدمات وتسهيل وصول الأرض للمزارعين، وهذا أهم ما في الموضوع. عمليا الأرض الغير مستصلحة أو اللي ما بيصلها المزارع الفلسطيني بحكم القانون اللي هو القانون اللي بيتعامل فيه الاحتلال، 10 سنوات أرض مهجورة باعتبارها أراضي دولة تسيطر عليها. فإحنا عشان نحد من هذا الإشي ونقلل أو نعزز تواجد الناس في هذه المناطق، نلجأ لموضوع الطرق الزراعية على أساس إحنا نخلق تواجد للناس في هذه الأرض. طبعا الأهم نحكي عن مصادر المياه في الضفة الغربية. تقريبا 85% من مصادر المياه سواء جوفية أو ينابيع أو اللي هي أنهار، وأهمها نهر الأردن طبعا تحت سيطرة الاحتلال. بنحاول قديش نقدر نوفر مصادر جديدة من خلال آبار الجمع، من خلال تقليل اللي هي كمية المياه المستهلكة من المصادر الموجودة بين إيدينا كفلسطينيين واللي احنا بنسيطر عليها، اللي هي أقل من 10% تقريبا من مصادرنا الطبيعية واللي بيكفلها التاريخ والقانون الدولي. طبعا الأهم كمان برضو احنا مهم عندنا يكون مزارعنا واعي، فبنروح لموضوع اللي هو بناء القدرات للمزارعين في التدريبات، في ورشات العمل، في القانون أهم ما في الموضوع، لأن صراعنا برضو على الأرض بتوجهوا لمحاكم، بتوجهوا فهذا مهم إحنا نوعي مزارعنا في هذه القضايا. طبعا الشكل المهم والأهم اللي هو موضوع السيدات والتعاونيات النسوية، بنحاول نعزز دورها وصمودها في هذه المناطق، لأن هي الأصل اللي هي يعني هي الأسرة أو الأم اللي هي أساس تربية الجيل الواعي لمقاومة الاحتلال في هذه المناطق. طبعا في عندنا يعني حكينا بالمشاريع، نحكي عن دائرة الضغط والمناصرة في اتحاد العمل الزراعي وشو بتتبع. في عندنا مجموعة من الحملات اللي بنقوم فيها سنويا، اللي هي حملة قطف الزيتون، اللي هي يعني عرس فلسطيني سنوي بصير في مناطق تحت سيطرة الاحتلال. نتوجه لهذه المناطق من خلال حملات، من خلال مزارعين، من خلال متطوعين. طبعا الاحتفالية الثانية أو المناسبة الثانية اللي احنا بنستغلها حتى احنا نعزز صمودنا في الأرض، اللي هي يوم الأرض الفلسطيني، اللي هو بيجي في 30 أذار. قصة يوم الأرض في 76 الاحتلال يوم سيطر 48 يوم سيطر على فلسطين التاريخية، كان هناك مخطط لبناء مستوطنات في مناطق 48. طبعا أهالينا في 48 توجهوا للأرض، واستشهد 14 مزارع في هذا اليوم اللي هو 30 أذار 76. ومن يومها لليوم وإحنا كفلسطينيين وكمزارعين نحتفل في هذا اليوم، فهو باعتبار يعني يوم وطني عندنا لتعزيز صمود مزارعنا في الأرض الفلسطينية. طبعا بالإضافة للأيام الوطنية في عندنا الأيام الدولية، يوم المياه العالمي، ويوم 8 من آذار يوم المرأة، وعندنا يوم المياه برضو، وفي عندنا يوم الفلاح العالمي اللي هو يعني بالتنسيق مع لافايا كامباسينا بيتم الاحتفال بهذا اليوم. في عندنا برضو حتى احنا في موضوع الاحتلال وتوثيق الاشي على الارض، في عندنا الاعتداءات اللي بتصير احنا بنوثقها من خلال تقارير شهرية بتصير اعتداءات، سواء اعتداءات مستوطنين أو اعتداءات جيش الاحتلال على المزارع الفلسطيني أو على مصادر اللي هي المصادر اللي بيحتاجها المزارع، سواء كانت مياه أو طرق أو تدمير أراضي زراعية. فهي كلها بنوثقها وبنسوي فيها تقارير شهرية وبنرفعها للمؤسسات المحلية والمؤسسات الدولية لفضح يعني انتهاكات الاحتلال اللي بتصير على المزارع الفلسطيني. في عندنا برضو
محمد بشكرك، معلش بنعتذر عشان الوقت احنا
تمام. انا يعني بس بدي انهي. تمام. يعني اذا في الفيديو او الفيلم راح يلخص جزء من شغلنا خلال السنوات الماضية. كمان مرة شكرا لكم وإن شاء الله بنضل على تواصل دائم.
أكيد. شكرا لك. شكرا. Josh, if we're ready to cue for the video.
This is the story of a tired Palestinian farmer, desperately clinging onto whatever joy he can still extract from his land and labor. This is the inspiring story of the Union of Agricultural Work Committees, which has supported him and countless other farmers for over 34 years. It is the bittersweet journey through land, which the Palestinian people love and to which they are deeply attached. Land that has been taken and stolen from them by Israel's occupation and annexation. Agriculture is a pillar of the Palestinian nation and an integral component of the Palestinians' culture, economic, and social life. Since 8000 BC, from the time of the Al-Tawab civilization, Palestinians have been pioneers and innovators in agriculture and agricultural production. The ongoing occupation and confiscation of Palestinian land in Area C deprives the Palestinian economy of 63% of their agricultural resources in the West Bank, setting the loss to the Palestinian economy at more than $3 billion annually. In Gaza, more than 46% of the agricultural land is inaccessible. The fishing industry has almost completely collapsed, since fishing off the coast of Gaza has been restricted by Israel to 3 to 6 nautical miles. Around 27% of the Palestinian population, about 1.59 million people, is food insecure. The contribution of agriculture to the Palestinian GDP has dropped from around 19% in the 1980s to 3.5% in 2019. If Palestinians could develop and use the 90,000 hectare in Area C currently inaccessible to them, this would contribute to the Palestinian GDP with $1 billion annually. UAC's establishment in 1986 came in response to the vulnerable socio-economic situation of the Palestinian farmers, resulting from the Israeli occupation and exploitation of their land and water, in order to promote small farmers, steadfastness, and their access to and sovereignty over natural resources. In 2019 alone, UAC succeeded in reaching 21,198 male and female farmers. UAC's activities include land reclamation and rehabilitation, including agricultural roads, leveling, planting, plowing, use of fertilizers and pesticides, water resource development and management, including water harvesting pools, cisterns, rehabilitation of springs, and installation of water pipelines and networks. Capacity building, including for food processing, home gardening, poultry breeding, bee breeding, goat breeding, and farm management. Humanitarian response to emergencies and disasters. Economic empowerment for women and youth. Protection of local seeds and reserves. Promotion of renewable energy and environment-friendly techniques. Support for marketing of small-scale farmers and women's cooperatives production. Provision of legal advice and support in cases involving land confiscation and demolition orders. Lobby and advocacy at national and international level on behalf of small-scale farmers, fishermen, and workers. Most recently, UAC has played a leading role in responding to the deterioration in the humanitarian situation caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. On 23rd of March 2020, UAC delivered the Convoy of Hope and Philanthropy to Bethlehem City, loaded with more than 30 tons of vegetable varieties donated by farmers. UAC's interventions mitigating the consequences of COVID-19 have reached more than 220 rural communities with about 10,000 families who received hygiene kits, food baskets, and about 2,500 home garden and 700,000 vegetable seedlings. Since its establishment, UAC's achievements include 3,000 kilometers of irrigation pipes installed, over 10,000 hectares of grazing land developed, 20,000 hectares of land reclaimed and rehabilitated, more than 2,000 kilometers of agricultural roads built, more than 2,125,000 square meter retaining walls built, farmers' access to water increased by 300,000 cubic meter, 40 varieties of indigenous local seeds protected, around 2 million trees planted, hundreds of income-generating projects for youth and women, more than 2,000 training hours annually. The success of UAC's projects have gained it 3 international awards in 2014 and 15, the Food Sovereignty Prize, the Equator Prize, and the Arab Creativity Award in the Economic Creativity. The Union of Agricultural Work Committees, a continuous journey of giving, an approach based on human rights principles.
Pues muchas gracias, Mohammad, por tu testimonio, por tus palabras tan importantes y por esa resistencia que lleváis desde hace tantos años, admirable, y que intentamos sostener desde todos los movimientos.
شكرا. شكرا. الحرية لفلسطين.
Federico, are you still with us? Federico, ¿estás todavía por ahí? Okay, I don't think so. I think we lost Federico for technical reasons. So, okay. So I take the word. So we are going, we have been like sharing a lot of struggles tonight. And we continue to do that in our next segment. And in the end, we all struggle because we have dreams. So that's why we chose this name for our next segment in this festival. So we would like all of you to focus in this, to dream always, and to dream with others, and especially now in this last part of our festival. And now I change my language to Português too, para dar as boas-vindas à nossa seguinte convidada, que vem do Brasil, do Movimento dos Trabalhadores Rurais Sem Terra. Temos com nós a Ruth Venceremos. Não sei se você me escuta aí, companheira. Vamos lá, a gente não pode perder o Federico e mais a Ruth, né?
Me escuta?
Ah, você está lá. Bem-vinda, querida. Então a palavra é sua, né?
Olá a todas as pessoas presentes neste Festival da Resistência. Me chamo Ruth Venceremos, drag queen e militante do Movimento dos Trabalhadores Rurais Sem Terra, movimento este que segue há quase 40 anos na resistência contra todas as formas de opressão e exploração. Este festival se realiza no mês em que se celebra o centenário de nascimento do nosso grande educador popular, Paulo Freire. Freire aprendeu e nos ensina, a partir de suas andarilhagens de esperança pelo Brasil e pelo mundo, que é preciso o engajamento permanentemente na luta dos oprimidos e jamais perdermos de vista a crença no ser humano. Por isso, esperançar é preciso. Esperançar como um sentido de projeto coletivo em que nos colocamos em marcha, em movimento, na luta e construção dos nossos sonhos. Para Paulo Freire, é preciso ter esperança, mas ter esperança do verbo esperançar, porque tem gente que tem esperança do verbo esperar. E esperança do verbo esperar não é esperança, é espera. Esperançar é se levantar. Esperançar é ir atrás. Esperançar é construir. Esperançar é não desistir. Esperançar é levar adiante. Esperançar é juntar-se com outros para fazer de outro modo. Assim, nos reconhecendo como povo, nos organizamos para a luta pela vida, pelo sonho de justiça social e transformação do mundo. E aqui estamos todos nós, cultivando valores, criando e recriando a história, lançando sementes de esperança, repartindo o pão, o amor e os sonhos. Reforma agrária popular, vida a cultivar, sonho a se realizar. O primeiro vídeo.
Maybe we are having some technical issues. Just wait a little bit. Sorry.
Ser sem terra é ser herói, é ser guerreiro. É viver a vida sem ter medo de arriscar. É ser amigo, ser companheiro, ser verdadeiro e não ter medo de enfrentar. É ter coragem pra lutar.
Nascemos no final de uma noite escura, junto com milhares. Nascemos do grito preso na garganta por justiça e democracia. Nascemos do desejo de repartir a terra para produzir, e de produzir para repartir o pão.
Doar suas vidas, suas batalhas, desbrava a terra, salta a muralha, planta, colher.
Nascemos do desejo de repartir a terra para produzir, e de produzir para repartir o pão. Palmo a palmo, passo a passo, nos espalhamos por este país. Nas terras que libertamos e onde tocam nossas mãos, brotam o milho, o arroz, o feijão, o inhame, a macaxeira, o piqui, batata, babaçu, maxixe, café, caju, cacau, mana, o leite e o mel. Florescem escolas e homens e mulheres livres.
É ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser na massa. É ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser.
E não há cercas e nem fronteiras que impeçam o andar digno de quem carrega a solidariedade e o internacionalismo.
De quem carrega este nome e a identidade chamada Sem Terra.
Doa suas vidas, suas batalhas,
Desbrava a terra, salta a muralha, planta, colher, muitas vezes sofrer. É ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser na massa. É ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser na massa. É ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser na massa. É ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser na massa. É ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser na massa. É ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser na massa. É ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser na massa. É ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser na massa. É ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser na massa. É ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser na massa.
Mulheres sem terra são aquelas que, na calada da noite, derrubam as cercas do latifúndio e, com muita canção, luta, conspiração e ousadia criativa, constroem, junto com outras mulheres, a derrubada do patriarcado. E é assim, cantando a canção da vida, que elas gritam que têm fome e fazem ecoar por todos os cantos a sua mensagem. As mulheres têm fome. A fome das mulheres é fome de revolução. E avistamos logo ali uma legião de mulheres trabalhadoras em uma enorme ciranda, tecendo a vida e os sonhos. Por isso, a revolução é tempo presente, mulheres presentes. A revolução são mulheres de mãos dadas e de peito aberto, hasteando a bandeira da liberdade em pleno sol na tempestade. Mulher da terra, mulher semente. Mulher sem terra, mulher insurgente.
Vou cantar para todas as moças, para todas Iabás, para todas elas. Canto hoje uma canção para nós, uma canção para o nascimento, para a fecundação, para a ocupação, para o chão desse nosso longo caminho.
Canto hoje a cantiga da primeira semente que a mão humana guardou sob minha pele, e aguou, e esperou, e cultivou, e viu que nascia verde e que dava frutos.
Canto hoje a canção cerrada, escavada, a canção cratera, areia, deserto.
A canção despida, envenenada, canção da primeira e maldita cerca, da primeira derrubada.
A morte inventada pelas invenções daqueles que se acham os novos donos da terra.
Contra o imperialismo! Soberania popular na Amazônia! Contra o imperialismo! Soberania popular na Amazônia!
Canto porque somos irmãs na colheita e na dor. Sou mãe antiga e primeira, mãe do que existe, do que existirá. Como também sou filha de cada uma e cada um.
Canto hoje uma canção para as mulheres sem terra, a canção dos lampiões sob a noite escura. Mulheres, terra ocupando o chão e derrubando as cercas.
Cantemos juntas
para a terra livre.
Façam de mim território e morada. Sigam escolhendo as sementes sadias. Ensinem mais e mais aos que ainda não sabem, aos que virão.
A conhecerem os segredos da vida coletiva, e eu seguirei lhes oferecendo comida farta, comida boa.
Nos cultivemos com fervor amor, até que a abundância seja a medida da vida.
Canto hoje, eu sem mim, vocês sem terra. Cantando e lutando, transformem o mundo das cercas em um imenso mundo livre. Filhas, irmãs, meninas, guerreiras sem terra.
O nosso tempo é sempre gestante.
É sempre o tempo de semear.
mulheres desde a sua pele que é minha.
A que se rebela e luta com a palavra e voz desembainhada.
A que se levanta de noite para ver se o filho chora.
A que luta inflamada nas montanhas.
A que trabalha mal paga na cidade.
Vamos, e que ninguém fique no caminho.
Para que esse amor tenha a força dos terremotos,
os ciclones, os furacões.
E tudo que nos aprisiona exploda, convertido em lixo.
Eu não me vejo na palavra fêmea, alvo de caça, conformada, vítima, vítima. Prefiro queimar uma bagaça de nova estrada, ver cores nas cinzas e a vida reinventar. Mulheres pela vida, semeando a resistência contra a fome e a violência.
Muchas gracias, Ruth, por estos vídeos. El MST, sin duda...
Espera, que no ha terminado. Espera, que no ha
no ha terminado. Queda un vídeo más. Porque se pedía que se pasaran el enlace, por eso pensé que se había acabado.
O nosso projeto é sonho coletivo que sonhamos de olhos abertos. É o sonho dos sem terra, dos que não têm casa, dos que não têm escola, dos que são negados o direito de amar e de ser quem são. É o sonho dos desgarrados do mundo, que não aceitando mais o estado de coisa, se reconhecem e constroem juntos um projeto de emancipação humana. Pois, como já dizia Paulo Freire, não é possível existir humanamente sem sonhos, sem utopias, sem sonho enquanto projeto, enquanto programa, enquanto curiosidade, enquanto querer ser diferente. Esses discursos que falam na morte dos sonhos, das utopias, são os mesmos que dizem que a história se acabou. São os mesmos que dizem que as classes sociais sumiram. Mas nós continuamos como classes sociais. Continuamos com lutas de interesse entre interesses diferentes, antagônicos, e continuamos a precisar dos sonhos. E por isso, seguimos na luta e construção do nosso sonho coletivo, sonho alimentado sempre que uma bandeira vermelha é fincada num latifúndio. Sonho alimentado toda vez que uma criança, sorrindo, se reconhece como sujeito da história e como portadora de futuro. Sonho alimentado pela rebeldia das mulheres que se colocam em movimento para mudar o mundo. Sonho alimentado pela prática da solidariedade, pelo cuidado com a natureza e com os seres humanos. É caminhando que vemos o horizonte, e por isso nós sonhamos de olhos abertos e com a poesia certeira de que o amanhã pertence a nós, trabalhadores e trabalhadoras. É aqui, é agora, onde semeamos vida e, aos poucos, vemos florir no presente a poesia do futuro.
Muchas gracias, Ruth. Muchas gracias al MST por mostrarnos con su discurso, con su experiencia de tantos años, que tenemos derecho a soñar, que tenemos la necesidad de soñar y sobre todo que la utopía existe. La utopía es posible construirla y vuestro trabajo es una muestra. Y siguiendo con las utopías, le damos la palabra rápidamente a Fernando, de la Organización Internacional de Pastores, para que nos presente los sueños que ellos están llevando a cabo y realizando en este ámbito tan importante, tan fundamental como es el pastoreo en el mundo. Adelante, Fernando.
Gracias, Fede. Gracias, compañeras y compañeros. Me alegro de verte de nuevo, Fede. Conecto aquí desde el campo en Italia, donde tenemos un encuentro del movimiento de pastores. Hemos tenido hoy testimonios de pastores de Tíbet, de pastores de Etiopía. También han venido del pueblo Borana y del pueblo Raika de Rajastán. Y mañana vamos a presentar justamente un informe sobre la importancia del pastoreo en la lucha contra el cambio climático. Nos vemos muchas veces también cuestionados y atacados, ¿no?, en el discurso de los medios de comunicación y la opinión pública sobre cómo el pastoreo o la ganadería contribuyen al cambio climático, y es una concepción equivocada, ya que se mete en el mismo, digamos, en el mismo paquete, ¿no?, a la ganadería industrial que el pastoreo. Disculpad por tanto la mala imagen de aquí estando en el campo, pero quería aprovechar para compartir esta oportunidad, ¿no?, en la que no solamente celebramos pues la continuidad de la lucha, sino también la riqueza, ¿no?, de la diversidad de culturas del pastoreo y de los pueblos vinculados a la actividad pastoril, pues a través de nuestra invitación a dos representantes del pueblo Rarámuri, el pueblo Rarámuri que está en la Sierra Rarámuri, continuidad de la Sierra Madre Occidental, en el estado de Chihuahua, en México. Y desde la Alianza Mundial de Nómadas, pues estamos también implicándonos allí, gracias a apoyos de entidades diversas como Fundación Marzo, para desarrollar actuaciones para fortalecer a la Asociación de Mujeres de Criadoras de Ovino de San Ignacio Arareco, una comunidad allí en Chihuahua, y una zona complicada también por cómo se ha ido, ¿no?, desarrollando también la presencia del narco, el extractivismo forestal. Pero sin más, quisiera invitar a Jairo y Max, si están también aquí, ¿me escuchan?
Sí, hola, hola.
Hola, Jairo. Y hola, Max. Muchas gracias por sumaros a este festival digital. Jairo y Max, vosotros habéis hecho ese tránsito, ¿no?, de las comunidades Rarámuri también, que se han visto muchas veces obligadas y desplazadas por diferentes proyectos extractivistas o también a veces del turismo, y habéis llegado, ¿no?, a los asentamientos de la ciudad, donde de alguna manera no quisisteis despojaros de todo el legado, ¿no?, de los ancestros, de esa cultura, de la lengua, y en este proceso de rescate cultural pues disteis lugar en el año 2018 al grupo de Rap Ramuri. Bueno, parece que Max ahora no está conectado, pero no sé, Jairo, si nos quieres compartir un poco, y antes de que pongamos algo de vuestra música, pues el qué os lleva, ¿no?, a crear Rap Ramuri y cómo viviste esa sensación también, ¿no?, de tener pues tu raíz, ¿no?, en relación a la tierra, en la sierra, pero también tener que vivir en las comunidades, en la ciudad de Chihuahua. Jairo, creo que estás silenciado el micrófono.
Ah, ya, es que estaba hablando acá.
Sí, no te preocupes.
Pues más que nada, pues el proyecto de Rap Ramuri nació por la intención de concientizar, que pues tenemos una gran raíz y queremos pues evitar que se pierda esa costumbre. Queremos que no se olviden de su lengua materna, de su origen, porque pues es lo que nos da la identidad hoy en día.
Muy bien. Si te parece, compartimos una primera de vuestras piezas, ¿no? Y también decidme los organizadores de más o menos si andamos un poco cortos de tiempo, ¿vale? Si os parece, voy a compartir la canción Lejos de casa, que está especialmente relacionada con esta cuestión. Voy a intentarlo. Parece que me tienen que dar la capacidad de compartir. Dígame si se oye el audio.
Sí, sí se escucha.
Lejos de casa, extraño mi infancia, no me ha cambiado ni la distancia. Cuido la esencia de allá mi vivencia, visto mis trajes, la elegancia. Tengo mis sueños y tengo anhelos, busco sustento para los que quiero. Nada es en vano y por eso migro. Huyo también porque corro peligro. A mí ni verteba ni hippie con él. Que tal si no me rune kawabone. When ni go nata sabe ni go taka. Wasoringo ai muni chongo naka. When ni imichi kimia parochira. Ita rubasi ni visi rokoshi. Tamo geniara kuhana gawi. Wegala ni matibu sabawi. When ni nanoka chabochi koba. Karechi dihu shigoran koran. When rio rabo kiripi no chavo. Y when que nadu que tasho monabo. Quieren llevárselo todo. Dejar mi tierra sin nada. Mi familia sufre hambre. Vivos que sufren la calma. Quieren llevárselo todo. Dejar mi tierra sin nada. Mi familia sufre hambre. Vivos que sufren la calma. Porque no entienden lo que siento. En este bosque de concreto. Busco un futuro de provecho. Pero extraño mis cimientos. Lejos de casa todo es difícil, pero lo entiendo, nada es fácil. Y la distancia me ha vuelto frágil, pero el tiempo me ha hecho ágil. Soy un ser dócil, más que un imbécil, de aspecto noble, pero versátil. Naturalmente, mi pueblo es hábil, y ante lo adverso, ninguno es débil. De rasgos propios, ningún mestizo. Este es mi porte, soy lo que he visto. De piel morena y un alma plena, que mientras danza sola serena. No me envenena, que me señalen. Este es mi suelo, este es mi aire. Y no comprendo el que me aparte en esa París, que los invade. Quieren llevárselo todo, dejar mi tierra sin nada. Mi familia sufre hambre, vivos que sufren la calma. Quieren llevárselo todo, dejar mi tierra sin nada. Mi familia sufre hambre, vivos que sufren la calma. Porque no entienden lo que siento. En este bosque de concreto, busco un futuro de provecho. Pero extraño mis cimientos.
Bueno, impresionante esta pieza. Hay mucho trabajo detrás, además muchas referencias, ¿no?, a problemas concretos que se están viviendo en las comunidades, la deforestación, eh, esa, bueno, ese rechazo, ¿no?, a lo que ha sido todo el programa de expansión colonial, del mestizo, como decís, Chabochi y todo. Y bueno, quería también preguntarte, no sé si Max se ha conectado, ¿cómo creéis que vuestro trabajo está, pues eso, impactando en las comunidades y en la gente joven, ¿no? También Rarámuri. ¿Cómo veis que a lo mejor, pues, si estáis viendo que están surgiendo otras iniciativas, se están relacionando más con el lenguaje, con la lengua?
Max ahorita pues creo que tiene problemas, está intentando conectarse. Pues hemos tenido muy buena respuesta de la comunidad y especialmente de jóvenes que nos platican y nos dicen que les parece pues, sensacional que se esté incluyendo el lenguaje rarámuri en este tipo de música, que es lo que más les gusta a los jóvenes de aquí de la ciudad. Y dice que es algo con lo que se pueden sentir identificados y pues les dan ganas de hacer algo similar. Y nosotros lo que hacemos es decirles pues que nosotros lo estamos haciendo porque queremos que ellos vean que pueden hacer lo que los inspire, lo que los motive. En este caso nosotros queremos resaltar y rescatar nuestra cultura, que por necesidad, por trabajo, por seguridad, por superación, tienen que emigrar desde su origen, desde la sierra hacia las comunidades urbanas, hacia las ciudades, en busca pues de un mejor futuro, de una estabilidad laboral, y por superación. pero creemos que no porque ya emigraron, no quiere decir que, pues, que ya no son de la sierra, ya no son indígenas. Queremos que quede eso muy claro, que se apoderen de lo que son y lo resalten estando fuera de sus comunidades.
Muchas gracias. Se sumó ahora Max también. Estáis en diferentes lugares de Chihuahua. Y
Así
quizás
es.
esta pregunta puede ir para Max, si va a compartir a lo mejor ahora un siguiente trabajo, si tenemos un momento de tiempo. Sangre Indígena, Etna Now, ¿no? Que es el tercer vídeo de Ocuacultura. No sé si Max querías contar algo sobre qué os lleva a hacer esta especie de tributo, ¿no? También en solidaridad con otros pueblos indígenas del planeta.
Sí, buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes, Max.
Pues, bueno, una disculpa porque hay problemas técnicos aquí, pero no sé si me escuchan.
Sí, soy yo.
Sí, se escucha.
Pues el tema sangre indígena pues va dedicado en sí a todos los indígenas del planeta, se podría decir, a todos los pertenecientes a un grupo indígena, ¿no? A todos los que se sienten orgullosos, identificados. Sé que con nuestra canción se identifican mucho por las palabras, por el mensaje que transmitimos, ¿no? En la música. Pues ese sería el mensaje pues, que a todos los indígenas del mundo, que no se olviden de lo que son, de dónde vienen, y pues donde quiera que anden, pues que se sientan orgullosos de lo que son y no se avergüencen, y siempre con la frente en alto, orgullosos de lo que son, y pues, sería todo.
Muchas gracias. Pues qué mejor, ¿no? Que la creación cultural que estás desarrollando de música, de rima, pues para dejar claro, ¿no? Ese orgullo de la cultura indígena. Pongo esto y, como digo, espero que no se corte porque estoy casi sin batería, pero espero que lo podamos escuchar y disfrutar.
Si quieres, ¿lo puedo poner yo o algo?
Ah, bueno, ya lo estaba poniendo. Me quedo atento a la batería.
Ok.
Su esencia natural, pago tu mirada, en ahí Wichiboba, en ahí Timuchuiba, su esencia natural. Aprecia lo que tienes y respeta de donde vienes, agradece con tu fe lo que te regaló Noruam, una cultura majestuosa tan llena de tradiciones. Mira a tu alrededor y tendrás más de 1000 razones para sentirte orgulloso de tu tierra y de tu gente. La cultura vive en ti, por eso es que sigue latente. Vique Vireca, Guaboleta, genial cultura indígena, Tijuta, Moquiti, Huerana, Teanguba, Tasirica, Aguam, Jugara, Mulita, Ichala, Ichanagua, Licochota, Lipenesa, Guatanara, Haplemico, Caguasa, Maquechi, Cada tema, Tamobila, Quedaluja, Picuchi, Gobenedima, Haplemique, Veneza, Chico, Titica, Tolago, Maquinana, Mahotesa, Matique, Vileton, Babu. Chabo leki dikiri penésima, hueli checo labo que vilena mutna siniga, a que vileni hueriga, iguataka en aluma, cataberam natama kiti que chihuesio meluma. Su esencia natural, pago tu mirada, en ahí Wichiboba, en ahí Timuchuiba, su esencia natural. mensaje claro que preparo con el arte que redacto mientras narro, porque están en sintonía la razón y el sentimiento para avivar la flama de autorreconocimiento. Todo se globaliza y estamos en pleno ascenso, adaptándonos al mundo y los cambios diversos. Por eso no importa el cómo, importa el por qué lo hacemos. Somos parte del mensaje que se ignora si no vemos. Es por ende que el que quiere lo comprende y se cuestiona, que una cultura se pierde si se avergüenza a la persona, porque no es el lugar ni la zona que se abandona, es lo que está en nosotros lo que amolda y le da forma, porque no es el lugar ni la zona que se abandona, es lo que está en nosotros lo que amolda y le da forma. Pago tu mirada, en ahí wichimoba, en ahí timuchuiba, su esencia natural. Pago tu mirada, en ahí wichimoba, en ahí timuchuiba, su esencia natural. Su esencia natural.
Bueno, muchas gracias.
Hey, you want to get leaner, stronger, learn some cool calisthenics, bodyweight skills, but...
Pues no sé si quizás deberíamos dejarlo para dar paso a las otras compañeros y compañeras que van a compartir de su quehacer. En todo caso, muchas gracias por este aporte y esperamos que haya oportunidad de seguir adelante con todos los proyectos que tenemos entre manos y de que pronto también podamos ir constituyendo la sección aridoamericana de la Alianza Mundial de Pastores y Nómadas, y agradezco mucho su participación.
Muchas gracias, Fernando,
Muchas
Jairo,
gracias.
ha sido Max, ha sido increíble, muy interesante, muy bueno ver a la juventud, al arte, al canto, toda esta mezcla, este tejer de redes. Y yo creo que lo que tenemos que hacer es intentar visibilizarlo lo máximo posible, ¿no? Compartirlo, llevarlo a todas partes. Y eso, tenemos que defender el pastoralismo y tejer estas alianzas con el campesinado, con los movimientos indígenas, con todo este mundo rural y alternativo para poder resistir y crear, ¿no? Y ahora vamos a ir terminando. Yo creo que esto nos plantea eso, que tenemos que estar muy atentos y resistir a esa manipulación del sistema, del poder, que bajo ese argumento del realismo, del posibilismo, nos quiere hacer que apartemos de nuestros sueños, ¿no? Tenemos que decir, como en el mayo del 68, que seamos realistas, pidamos lo imposible, ¿no? Y para seguir en este camino, le damos la palabra ahora vía WhatsApp a un compañero de Paraguay, del movimiento rural campesino de allí, que pertenece a la Federación Internacional de Movimientos Rurales Católicos. Así que pasamos a poner el vídeo porque el compañero finalmente no pudo estar presente. Gracias.
Hermano campesino, hermano del alma, tú que siembras la paz y el amor en el campo, tú que eres el símbolo de este pueblo, símbolo de este pueblo, porque en tus manos están espero verte espero verte sonreír, espero verte crecer, hermano, espero verte sonreír, hermano campesino.
Muchas gracias a los compañeros del FIRMAC de Paraguay, vídeo muy bonito y bueno, seguimos entrelazando redes, entrelazando sentimientos, recuerdos. Nosotros ahora el festival va a continuar, tenemos todo. No se escucha. Sí, ahora sí. No, estaba diciendo que agradecemos, perdonar por las desconexiones, nos despedimos Berta y yo, pero el festival continúa, sigue para adelante, y nada, muchas gracias, muy feliz de haber estado con vosotros y vosotras, de haber aprendido tanto, de haber sentido tanto, y seguimos resistiendo entonces con solidaridad, con lucha, con alegría y con mucho amor, y vivan nuestras luchas, vivan nuestras vidas campesinas, indígenas, afro, de las mujeres, de los pastores, y bueno, seguimos juntos, soñando, construyendo unidad y luchando para defender nuestra tierra y nuestros pueblos. Muchas gracias.
Sí, ha sido... I'm going... sorry, I changed my language. We would like to really say thank you to all the organizations who brought here tonight all their wisdom, all their struggles, all their strength, and the culture too, because we had really a lot of music, a lot of art, so we are really like happy and impressive. And also we would like to say thank you to all the interpreters who were here tonight with us, and I particularly want to apologize for my English, so I thank you so much for having understood me and translate me. And I would like to finish in Spanish, sorry, pero eso, quería despedirme como en castellano, que me explico mejor. Bueno, para dar las gracias otra vez de corazón a todo el mundo que ha formado parte, las personas que os habéis registrado, las organizaciones, quienes habéis estado organizando el festival. Creo que hemos entre todas tejido realmente como, bueno, como esto, ¿no? Como un manto así bien fuerte, con hilos bien fuertes, como decía Fede, de solidaridad, de resistencia, de esperanza y de amor. Y bueno, que podamos seguir cultivando la memoria como hemos hecho hoy, que podamos cultivar la unión como hemos hecho hoy de nuestras luchas, de nuestros pueblos, y que podamos seguir soñando juntas y juntos muchos años. Gracias otra vez, es que ricasco. Y we don't have finished, so I'm going to give the word to Dima, because she's going to introduce you the last part of the festival. Dima?
Thank you, Berta. Thank you, Federico. What fantastic weavers you have been, and what a great fabric you have put together for all of us here, a strong fabric. Before I move forward, I must, we have to hold each other accountable. So I must remind you, you have nothing to apologize about for not speaking English correctly. It is not your language. This is exactly what we are talking about. English is not your language. You have nothing to apologize. The fact that you are speaking it is resistance, and resistance is nothing to apologize for. Thank you, thank you, thank you. family, friends, if you are still here with us, we thank you, we honor you for this last segment of dreaming. Highly, highly underestimated form of resistance. And to close this festival, to close this bringing together of love in all its forms, I am so privileged and so blessed and so honored to be bringing this closing session to you by two of my elders and my sister. Maimuna Youssef will start with a video from her. I will, unfortunately, she is unable to be present with us in person, but she's here in spirit and through her music, which I hope you will be enjoying. As we queue up the track, as Josh does the fantastic work he does behind the scenes, I will quote her for a quote inspired by Ombello, and we will put it in the comments. Maimuna says, "Dreams are like gardens. Many of us abandon our gardens long before they harvest season, and they never get a chance to taste the sweet, succulent fruits they yield. No, we are constantly becoming. Be a good gardener to your dreams and watch them bloom." I asked Josh to play the video, The Blooming, by my sister, the Queen, Maimuna Youssef, also known as Momo Fresh.
To you from the Lakota people, the Native American Indians of Turtle Island, also known as the United States, we call it Turtle Island. It tells the story of the American Indian Wars. When the men would go off to battle, the women would wave their shawls at the top of the mountain, waiting for their husbands to return. And if their husbands never returned from battle, they continued to wave their shawls until they became one with the wind. It is a story now that we sing to babies. War becomes child's play in the streets. You know what I mean? Ingbata nawache nawache chicho say Maya Impata nawache chichose. Impata nawache chichose. Impata nawache chichose. Impata nawache what I am, pellet holes and Sprite cans, onion pickles and penny candies was the jam. 95, mommy banked the ice cream man. Yellow lactose is bad for the African. Native American from the Choctaw clan. Alabama Creek, Mississippi, goddamn man. I am the product of a gypsy and a kingpin. I exist somewhere between Egypt and Sing Sing. Born to be a revolutionary since a wee thing. About to rock the mic forever if I got an inkling. Labels pounding on my mama's door. I was 13. She would never sell me short. Purpose I was serving. Raised in Harm City, Baltimore streets burning. Every other building is bordered the fiends are yearning. Gotta have a plan. Forget ENA enough. My plan was a band, now this industry we heating up. But they don't understand these go hard young bucks, a cross between Public Enemy and Thelonious Monk. I can serve you up like a fiend with whatever you want. Hip hop, blues, jazz, rock, roll, soul, funk. Hey, Iguata, hey, Iguata, Apatua, yo te wami di mi amo, wamo temo jokena, shiwe yo jokena, wamo temo, jokena temo, jokena temo, Apatua, yo te wami di mi amo, wamo temo jokena, shiwe yo jokena, wamo temo, jokena temo, jokena temo. I would love to take the path of least resistance, but my spirit guide's been telling me they need assistance. I came into this realm to do things a little different. If you love it or you hate it, I'ma stay persistent. I am what I am, effortlessly relevant. Everything there's ever been, I am but a grain of sand. And the Creator's hand, dying just to live again, be again, melt until the omnipotent. I am part of the grave. Just to live again, be again, melt until the omnipotent. I am music. I am you, and you are me. Thank you.
Wow. I am biased because, well, not only is she my sister, she is fantastic. And I call her queen for a reason. And I see someone was asking what language, and I could not be more honored, more blessed to introduce and welcome the Queen Mother, that Queen's mother. Grandmother Wafajea Walks on Water, who will hopefully answer the question on what language and give us a healing, a sound healing ceremony with her beautiful, beautiful voice as we wrap this festival before we go into the closing prayer with Grandmother Rabia, Medicine Woman. Grandmother Walks on Water, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Halito.
Halito.
How are you?
Blessed.
The language my daughter was singing in is Lakota. It's a Lakota lullaby. And it is a song that comes from the time that the Americans were fighting us, trying to destroy us. And the women would go on top of a hill and wave their shawls for their husbands to come back from war. And if the one husband did not come back, the song says, I will wave my shawl for you until I become the mountain. I will not leave you.
Thank you, Grandmother. Thank you, thank you. Will you please share with us and bless all who are with us today with your wonderful voice, with a song of prayer, with a song of healing, as we celebrate all those who resist.
Spirit of the wind, carry me home. Spirit of the wind, carry me. Spirit of the wind, carry me home to myself. Spirit of of the earth, help me with my burden. Spirit of the sky, spread my wings so I can fly. Spirit of the wind, carry me home to myself. Spirit of the ocean, mother my emotion. Spirit of the sea, set my soul free. Spirit of the wind, carry me home to myself. Spirit of the wind, carry me home. Spirit of the wind, carry me. Spirit of the wind, carry me home to Yako Key.
Yako Key, grandmother, Yako Key. What a blessing. I would love to ask Josh to welcome grandmother Rabia, medicine woman. These two wonderful, wonderful grandmothers have been my personal guides, grandmothers, and they work together, their alchemy, the healing that they bring together. I would love to introduce to you all grandmother Rabia, medicine woman, as they come together in prayer.
And you know, grandmother always deviates a little bit.
Of course. I'm just going to stay to the side here.
However mother tells me to go, I'm going in that direction, right? I feel like, because this is the song that I'm always, sing this at Standing Rock, sing this, you have to play Oklahoma Trek, because that says it all. So if you can make space, which mother will make that space, stick around, folks. Oklahoma Trek with grandmother Wapajea, Maimuna, and Nabasha Dea. Can you cue that up real quick?
If I can find the track, is it the one that
that Aisa put in?
If Aisa can send it to me while you make the prayer, I will cue it up.
Okay. Whew. Divine Heavenly Mother, great spirit of all life, whose wombs we all are created from, that births the universe and all things. All things are your creation and all things are our relatives and we are related. We know that you make no differences about your children. Some teach us some hard lessons and we learn those and teach them back. There is no plan except for her plan. When we submit, then things become easier for us. If we don't try to project her will with our will, things will happen and flow like the river flows. There are so many examples in nature, Mama, that you put here for us to understand. You teach us every single day with every breath in and every breath out. There are no challenges. There's only perceived hardships that we make. When we're not in solidarity, we are and not in balance. And you see through nature that it will correct itself because it is divinely inspired. Thank you, Mama, for creating all of the things that you have created, the trees, the water, the mountains, the bugs that we're all running from, even the mosquito, as annoying as it is, as some people are on this planet, have their job to do. If they didn't provoke us, we would not rise higher. If they did not challenge us, we would not dig deep into ourselves and know how divinely created we are, and that we can do this, we will do this. When we reach back with the seeds and put them in the ground and put our hands in the earth and stop wearing gloves. Mama's just like, you people are a trip. You're wearing gloves to put your hands in the earth while speaking for her. And Mama said, no, I got this. Mother Earth said, I got this, kids. Just do you the best way that you can, because I will take care of myself. If I need to bring the winds to change, I will bring those winds to change. If I need to bring the water to cleanse, I will bring that water. If I need to shake the mountains, I'll shake my mountains. If you keep digging into me, I will show you how I take care of myself. Take care of you with my blessing, because I have this. And so we need to come out. And I know that my way of praying is not everybody else's praying, but as I get downloaded, I just speak her as she tells me. So I apologize if you're looking for a sermon or a dogma, because you won't get it from here. And Mama Wapajan knows that too. But I have to say that, you know, it is, when I go for a walk and I see how a tree limb is fallen and those dreaded vines that we all curse, it doesn't hit the ground because the vines have held it up and are holding it. And how when a tree falls and another tree holds that tree, so it does not, and supports each other. Even in death, we have support. So we always remember our ancestors and those that came before us, because they're still very much present, very much active. And if you ask them for help, they will give you the help that you seek. Stop counting them out. Stop looking at TV and looking at all of these other things that cloud your mind and interrupt your vibrational field, because these ancestors are on the move and they are waiting for us to kick in. When we go someplace and we have I'll give an example at Standing Rock, when they were in a prayer circle and they were praying, and the goon squads came with their guns to attack them, and they had no guns, they just had their faith in their prayers. What happened? A herd of bison came running down the mountainside, down that hill towards those people with guns, who jumped in their trucks and took off when they were praying. And the eagle landed and sat there and watched them and witnessed their prayers, and then took to the sky. When we see people in all sorts of situations and nature comes in and sings, the birds come, they don't stop singing. Even when there's a calamity, they come and they warn you. Mother shows you so many ways. There's something going to happen. Pay attention. Let your vibration raise higher. She's lifting you up. Lift with her, because she is telling you, sit in nature, make that connection with the earth. Look at Grandmother Moon when she's out in all her glory. It's not just a spectacle to see, it's her saying, come children, my grandchildren, I got you. I got you. I'm trying to help you reach higher, to raise your vibration higher. My sister here, who does the womb prayer of all womb prayers, which is what births the universe, I bow to your grace, my sister. Please give us a prayer.
Divine Holy Womb of Creation, we thank you this afternoon to be together on this holy plot of ground. We thank you for the coming age. We thank you for the dissolution of misery and shame and hurt, harmful ways, harmful behavior. We thank you for the evolution of moving out of that. We thank you, Divine Womb of Creation. It is you and you alone that we praise. It is you and you alone that we come from and shall return to. It is you and you alone that we recognize as the sovereign of all that is. We thank you as part of your creation, that we are part of your sovereign. We are part of your joy. We are part of your hopes and dreams. We are part of all the things that creation is. We thank you for that. We thank you that we can do nothing without you. We thank you because we have a mighty mother, a mighty womb that we have come from and we are going back to. We trust you for all things. We trust you for the healing of the planet. We trust you for the healing of the two-legged and the four-legged. We trust you for the healing of the creepy crawlers and the flyers. We thank you. We thank you. We trust you for the swimmers, those with fins and those without. We thank you because we know that at some point, in your divine grace and order, all will be put well. And so for that we say, Yako Ki Jehoyali.
Yako Ki. And thank you, Mother, for your continued protection of all. It's not that you don't notice those that are in strife, those that are holding the line for the earth and the people. You lift them up. You sent them. They volunteered to come here. And we thank you, and we thank them for the grace of coming and being with us. We thank you for every footstep that we make in prayer and solidarity with each other, that in this circle and the ripples and spirals that go out from it, from all this wonderful work that all of these wonderful beings that you have created are doing, that in that light, that their light and all the light that they shine everywhere continue to uplift and support and bring love and guidance to the people so they can reclaim themselves and remember who they truly are. Yako Ki.
Yako Ki. So darlings, I'm going to press on and finish my shopping.
Thank you.
There's Whole Foods.
Yes, and safe travels and love to Sequoia.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you all. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thank you to the speakers, to the presenters, to our wonderful interpreters who have allowed us to transcend language barriers and send this message, all these messages and all these truths from around the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you to our grandmothers for blessing the closing. Thank you to the opening Mystica that blessed the opening. Thank you to the organizers. I'm pretty sure I'm missing and forgetting everyone, but in this energy, all I send you is love, 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 love. Remember, resistance is love. Keep loving, keep being, keep resisting, keep remembering who you are, keep invoking your language. Stop apologizing for not speaking a language that is not your own. Remember, remember, and remind the world. Resistance is love, however it is you resist. I ask one last thing of you. Find a photo on your phone that represents resistance as love. Share it today. Tag us. Tag A Growing Culture. Tag Why Hunger. Tag MST. Tag La Via Campesina. Tag your warriors of resistance and remind the world. Resistance is love.
Thank you, Dima.
Thank you.
Now let's go get some chocolate. Okay.
I love you. Ah. We are complete. Thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To all our family from around the world, all our interpreters. Share that link. If anyone has a birthday, ask for a photo. Ask for one of these masterpieces. If anyone knows someone who has a birthday, buy them one of these pieces. It's going to a good cause. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. Any of the holidays coming up, share wide and far. This is just the beginning of a month-long campaign. The last day to order is the 31st of October. Share, 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 and amplify. Thank you to our artists, to our winners, and those who have not made the cut but still submitted. Thank you. We honor you and your resistance and your sharing of your talent in all its ways. Thank you. I will stop speaking now.